to Timeline Talks.
To the Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talk. Featuring guest stars, Worf action figure collector, Kapla, It's Stars and Garden. Also featuring Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, the man with the chatter, he doesn't have a bladder. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the premium #1 exclusive show for all things Star Trek Timelines. I am your host, Captain Idol, and I am joined by my fellow co-host below me, right here, Stars and Garters, and joining us, not getting the casual dress code of tonight, but however, smart as ever, Frank, welcome to the show tonight. Welcome to Timelines Talks.
I could do up my top I could do up my top button. I could be formal.
I thought this was the award show.
Yeah, you're about a month out, but hey, no, you're looking very smart, very savvy. I am, of course, I would have been wearing my Starfleet uniform, which is over there, but it is so cold here, so I'm like, no, dressing gown needs to be on. Oh, my headphones have just broken. There we go. So welcome everyone to Timelines Talks. This is a part of, we're still here, we're still doing this once a month, but, apparently people want to hear about the new cards, the new golds, and talk about all these... Who would have thought there'd be some interesting content come out in the last month while we're off?
Can't relate.
No, cannot relate. So, happy 2023, everybody. Happy New Year for everyone that hasn't seen us since then. We've had a time. It's been good fun being off, but we are back and we have lots to do this year. First off, I'll do a lot of promo stuff at the end of what we're doing, but first off, I just have to let you know, we have been very graciously invited to the Captain Picard week from Strange New Pod. If you haven't followed them yet, they're very good. They invited us and a few other podcasts to participate in Captain Picard week, where we will be talking on Eric Nelson. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, we will be talking about, me and Stars will be talking about something to do with Captain Picard, which I do know what subject it is, but I'll keep it a surprise there. So we'll be hijacking their channel. I'll be putting up some more details about that.
It'll be his gigantic, bald head. Idol can relate.
Hey, I'll get big on for that as well then. At least you'll have to
I like how your response to me calling you out isn't to go, yeah, well, you're like, yeah, I'll get someone else to be dragged into the misery.
We'll get you in numbers, definitely. So yes, we'll keep you updated with that, but I'm very happy to be invited by that. It's going to be a good lot of fun. So, but before we continue, we do have to do one special thing that we haven't done for a while. Thank you very much to every one of our Discord patrons for submitting a show title, and congratulations to... One second, because I forgot who submitted it. Thank you. Congratulations to Navark for winning the show title theme. But let's have a quick look at... Oh, no, that's the wrong button. Oh, no. I've completely redone my layout here. Hang on. Is it that one? No, that will have to do
Is
for
Q
now.
in the court scene about to pop up?
It's not, no. We have to spin the wheel, of course. When there it is. Right, let's spin this wheel and see who wins a sub. So everyone that submitted a show title gets an entry on the wheel. Let's spin it and see who gets a sub to the channel. Evans of Wales! I believe you're already a subscriber. So once your sub has expired, please give us a shout and I will resub you up for you. So, but no, congratulations to you. This week, we are going to be talking about the latest event. We're going to be talking about the latest mega, the unexpected mega that we didn't know about, the Faith of the Heart mega. We talk about Voyage exclusive 5-star crew, Convergence Day packs. Stars has got another round of fake crew, a new fake mega to go through. Oh, sorry. Timelines Talks originals. Sorry. Or should we call them Trek Time originals now?
No, this is still the Timelines Talk show. It's about timelines.
Absolutely.
And they are not fake. They are completely legitimate.
But first off, how are you, gentlemen, this week? How are you doing? Frank, since you are honoured guest, how is life? How are things? How has your Star Trek experience led you into 2023?
So far, very well. The game still runs, which is good. The fleet has not kicked me out, which is also good. Occasionally, I remember to do boss battles, which I should probably do more. I am sorry. And it's the game churns along even if there's no event announcement or Tuesday packs or
Yeah,
I'm
we have been having you on a watch list ever since they stopped the Tuesday packs. Are you okay?
I was trying to find joy, something to spark joy, since I am on full on withdrawal. Like the needle is out of the arm. I don't know what's going on. I had ordered a red dress to wear today in celebration of the award show that I'm obviously a month late for. No other reason, no other crew with red dress or anything. Apparently, I don't know how to size dresses because I got one just a teeny bit too small. So that didn't work. And so Shy continues to be the only one that can appropriately, I guess, dress up in costume. But other than that, I think pretty good. How about you?
We're good. Stars, how are you? How's things?
I'm quite well, actually, as it happens. I actually do have something Trek related that happened to me that this year. So, and it's actually very, very appropriate for our intros. So, my good friend Marie, who is a friend of the show and probably watching this on the replay, got me another Worf,
Oh wow.
who is
Oh, that's a
very
cool one.
cool.
Oh, I very
Yeah,
much
he's
like
got.
that.
You have no idea how much of a bitch it was to get his hands grabbing that bat'leth, but like, it's a really nice, like, detailed figure. So he gets to sit there next to my pirate Worf from Generations and my bust. So I'm building up another small collection of figures. I'm sure Michael Dawn will notice me one day.
The
Yeah,
Wolf
I'm doing
Shelf.
all right. I'm glad to be here. It's weird doing this only once a month, but then again, I suppose it's there's so much Star Trek to talk about.
We do
so
have
much.
a lot more other things to do, so yeah, we'll be doing that. What was I going to say to you? Oh,
How
yes.
about you, Idle?
I have. Well, I'm good actually. I'm midway through dry January. It's testing me, but I'm getting there. I have a lovely cup of tea. If you can see the excitement in my eyes at my lovely Cerritos mug, which I got on our London trip, which is good. But no, good. I have a question for you though, Stars. This is a Star Trek related question, and since Picard season 3 is coming up, there was a promo picture of Worf in Picard season 3, and spoiler alert if you don't know the TNG cast are coming back, there you are. That's your problem. In all of TNG, DS9 and the movie Stars, do you ever see Worf's ears?
I'm fairly certain you do, yes.
Okay, because
I'm
someone
sure
commented on this on one of the latest pictures of Worf. The fact that like you see his ears as he's tucked back, and someone went, "Have we ever seen his ears before? Are these the first examples of Klingon ears?"
No, I'm certain we must have seen it at least once or twice in DS9 because there's that scene after he and Jadzia have that really, 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 really rough sex where I'm pretty sure some of it is pushed over, some of his hair is pushed over his ear. And I'm fairly certain there's also a few scenes where they're lying in bed together. I think maybe the Molly O'Brien goes through a time portal and becomes feral episode where they're taking care of Kiriyoshi. I'm pretty sure that like you get to see his ears there as well.
Okay.
I'd have to double check to be certain, but I feel like we've seen his ears. They are
Now,
hard confirmed to have ears.
in all the figures you have next to you, do you see
Yes,
that's
ears?
As a
I think you
non-canon
do
ear,
in the
though.
Generations one. No, you don't. Not the
Oh.
Generations one. Let's go through. No, covered by hair.
This is
Clearly we
important. This is
needed
more
him to be
important than
bald.
timelines.
Yeah, no, not in that one. That's the TNG one. Let's have a look at the bust. This is our last chance. No, covered by his magnificent mane. Let's have a look at the Funko Pop. Yeah, no, Funko Pops don't have ears, so it's not that one either.
Don't even have eyes.
Over my shoulder, I have Klingon ears. Gowron,
Oh,
who did show his ears. Let me get it. I'll show you.
okay.
Are they as impressive as his?
For podcast
classic.
listeners,
That's
I shall
classic.
not describe the scene I'm seeing. Was that a half price suit, Frank?
I forgot to wear pants. I'm sorry. That was for podcast listeners exclusive. Turns out Gowron has massive sideburns, and you can't see his ears. So I was wrong.
The Klingon ear is a mystery. I think that's going to be the new hot stuff is the Klingon ear. Who
I'm
knew?
fairly certain you see every Disco
probably right.
Klingons ears as well, like Laurel and Volk and such, because they don't have hair.
That's true. That's a different kind of Klingon. Well, anyway, we won't linger on this. We've got lots to talk about.
Are you going to start telling me that Star Trek died in 2005 now, Idle?
Why is this?
did.
Right, I've seen this in Discord. Why has this suddenly come up?
I had to play Gauntlet. God forbid, because there's like an objective event going on and a month-long event that says you have to play Gauntlet. They hold a phaser to my head and say, play Gauntlet. So I saunter off into Gauntlet like a drunk, stumbling in, not wearing pants. And there's a guy in there named Rip Trek, 1966 to 2005. And I was like, shit, who's Trek? I didn't even know he was sick. I'm sorry. It's terrible. My condolences.
Is that like Rip Torn?
Do you want to know what... Oh god, what you mean the coach of the team in Dodgeball? Yeah. That's all I can associate with them now after I've seen Dodgeball. So you know what's extra funny to me about that? That person clearly is such an elitist that they don't count The Cage, which debuted in 1964. Now, granted, it wasn't aired, but that is when Trek started, so fake fan confirmed.
I was actually talking to someone online who was very much of the opinion that The Cage is not canon, but the Menagerie is. I was like,
How is The Cage is the most canon ever? It got brought up in the Menagerie, and it's super important for Disco. It's super trooper canon.
I think
come
it might have
on.
been shy. The fake pilot. It's the real pilot. It's the pilot of
Oh, that's because
pilots.
he keeps on going on about the man trap.
We
Because
did
he's got
the
such
man
a
trap on Trek.
Yeah, we did it. It was a fine episode. It was probably better than The Cage in some respects. But
Should we talk about some event
you let
winners?
it go, Sean. Let it go. I guess we can do that.
Let's talk about
I guess
some
we can
event
talk about the
winners.
show.
So, previous event, a very wonderful event. I realise we are missing 5 weeks worth of events, but I think for the next to ensure that the next 15 minutes aren't me just rambling out a load of names, I think we will just announce out the last event prior to this show. So congratulations, before I put my finger in my tea, congratulations to equals J equals Rom from the Space Junkies for #1 in the last Skirmish Galaxy event, winning yourself a 5 of 5 Devious Duet Jurati. Other notable names on the list from people who have interacted with our community: Aliens #2, Flash #10,
We've interacted with aliens?
Aliens, yes, all of them. Danjavin #14, No Name a Big Book Extraordinaire #16, myself at #17. Thank you. This Cisco at
What a
18. Boota at 21, Black Knight 22, Iknamur 24, We Are Borg 27, Palhura Cat Lady at 33, Sapko 36, and Sunkatse Siete #45. So congratulations to all those that made the top 50. Well done. That was, I believe...
If I keep on clapping randomly, they'll still keep joining in. Watch this, guys. It's like a Pavlovian response.
And shout out,
Thank you,
we got a shout out in chat from Walt Koenig. Shout out to Big McLarge, our fellow host, for rank 666. The mark of the beast, the mark of the Borg. We'll say
Very
that.
fine.
But yes, so this was the second ever Skirmish Galaxy.
Yeah, I hate
There
it.
have been Galaxy Skirmishes, but this was actually the first time it was second time it was a Skirmish Galaxy. How did you guys find that? I mean, I appreciate Stars. I think you ranked sort of above 1,500. Frank, I don't know where did you get on this one, or if you played this event?
I was 400 and something.
Okay, how did you find this way round?
See, skirmishes historically are the quickest or the easiest to rank high in, because you can just set something to watch and just go tap, 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 tap mindlessly. But it takes a couple of hours, but then you're fine. I underestimated that, and I had to actually craft, which I hated. And then I overdid it a little bit because it was a little competitive. I'm not wild about like the 94 straight weeks of some sort of cron requiring event where it requires me to use a brain cell that I only have 3 of. And then the objective events going on, we'll talk about that later. They're wanting our crons, folks. Hold on to them dearly. Don't let them win.
They're coming for you. They're coming for your crons.
So, here's the thing I have with...
Lucky! Thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much, my friend. My breakfast friend.
Oh, wow. Oh, you... Okay, that's what that is. Okay,
That is
right.
UK,
I was like... I saw it all lowercase, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Luckius.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, congratulations on saying this backwards, like, spell that will damn me to hell. So, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Snap recently. I know Idle you have as well. I've also been playing Midnight Suns, which is a tactics game. And these are very crunchy games. These are games that have a lot of gameplay involved, where there's a lot of like variability, there's a lot of customization, there's a lot of I can approach this however which way I want. Any situation can go any which way. And having been playing these games quite a bit over the last month and a half or so, it really strikes me that like timelines, especially when it comes to the events, has just the wrong mix of event. Yeah, there you go. Just the wrong mix of gameplay where there's not enough for you to truly become involved, because it's like, you know, a skirmish is done in 3 seconds each battle. You can't, there's no time to think about it, because why would you? And there's no gameplay involved in tapping, really. It's mindless. The most gameplay you actually really get is, say, fleet boss battles, but we've done our best to maximize our efficiency so that you don't interact with that system barely at all.
Min-max that to everything, really.
Yeah, and then there's Gauntlet, which everyone hates because it's based on a random, like, you know, number generator. So there's not enough actual gameplay to really keep your brain invested, but there's too much gameplay in terms of the amount of time investment required to get what you want. So, and it really shows up when you do Skirmish into Galaxy, because Skirmish has historically been the favorite event, not just because it's the easiest to get. Like, you know, you can 350k a Skirmish in an hour. Every other event, it's going to take way longer than that and cost way more resources. But the Skirmish, I can do like an episode of like Star Trek and be done, essentially, if I'm just focusing. But then going from that, and especially, you know, from every single battle gives you credits, honor, chronotons, or a blue portal if you're particularly unlucky, because it'll always be trash. Into Galaxy, which is historically, yes, probably the easiest to rank into if you only have a short amount of time, because you can just like go, I have 3 hours on Sunday, I can craft enough in that period of time that I'll be fine on Monday, which is different from Skirmish, where you basically have to kind of participate over the entire period. But Galaxy is so unrewarding. Yeah, you get your community awards, but like, how many components have died a death? How many chronotons have you just had to mindlessly hit through and then tap and then craft and then tap and then craft and oh, I'm out of that one. And it's just going from the most rewarding event type to arguably the least rewarding event type in terms of investment of brain power to what you actually get out of it is not a great idea. That's not a good event type, because it shows you the weakness in the gameplay in this. And it's like, Galaxy and the Skirmish, great, because you can pick your poison. Which one do you want to go for? The Skirmish into Galaxy? No. It's like,
Yeah.
I think we've also had a few like Skirmish faction hybrids, and they're even weirder in some respect. But even then, you just take your shuttles and go. It's less investment. There's a little bit of stacking in terms of, oh, what's the best choice for what seat? But it's, you know, you're done, and then you wait 3 hours, and it's just, yeah. Can we have less Skirmish Galaxy, please? It's really, really not rewarding.
Galaxy reminds you of the age of this game, because that is the second event type they came up with. That was the fifth event, was the first Galaxy. That's, you know, not quite 7 years ago that came out. And there was, I mean, imagine then when there were fewer missions and nobody had crons trying to get all those materials for Galaxies. The winning scores for those events, like people 6. Do now in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. So, I mean,
I hadn't even considered that. That's crazy. Yeah, because
it's an ancient holdover,
right?
No, well, it did.
Yeah. You wouldn't have had Warp back then, would you?
But VIP 0 didn't. You had to be VIP 3 to get Warp 1. So it, you know, it's a product of an older time that has not scaled up to modern gameplay and everybody else. Skirmish is newer, so it doesn't have that same effect. And you're right. You bring up a brilliant point. The risk versus reward, or effort versus reward, there is none to speak of really in Galaxy. Throw away, you get 2 crew and a pole. Who cares? Skirmish, you get honor. You get a return on your crons. You know, credits. Occasionally, you get a 1 pole. But that's, you know, you get to farm stuff. You get to actually progress your crew.
You can be strategic about it. You can plan for the next Galaxy. You can go, I know for a fact that I'm going to need XYZ components for diplomacy heavy crew or engineering heavy crew, and I never have those components to hand. Let's just get it all done. Let's get ready for the next thing. And yeah, you just don't get anything like that in Galaxy. If anything, you're depleting your component list. You're making yourself arguably worse for the time to come. Because it's like, I know for a fact that for the Crispy Crons retrieval event, I've like farmed God knows how many casings, and then they all fly right out of my ass the next time the galaxy turns around. It's like, cool, my inventory is now worse. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, I think the community realised that as well, because like especially at the level, because obviously I got up to 17, and like the up at that rank, like it was really interesting because I went hard on both stages because I really wanted to get top 30, but it was interesting seeing people who just skirmished really hard for those first 2 days and then did nothing else, because they got up to, I think a lot of people were just like, I want a safe 750 and I'm just going to go hard, I'm going to get like 2 million, 2 and 3 million or whatever, and then nothing. And that was really interesting, which people don't like galaxying. You get the choice, you get to do the skirmish, you do the skirmish.
Yeah, like I feel like it is a legitimate problem where it's like faction I'm actually completely fine with because it's so minimal investment, and it's like, yeah, it's just basically resource management, which is completely fine.
Yeah,
that's
it's got
even
its own
arguably
separate
thematic.
Resources as well. You're using boosts.
Yeah, exactly.
You're using boosts and crew. There's a bit more. There is strategy.
You're not
like
using skill boosts to make your crew, so it's like you don't feel any kind of compromise there. But yeah, they really need to come up with another event type. I don't know what it is, but they just need to do something that is a bit more involved, less mindless tapping. No, I understand that there's a harsh opposition to expeditions. I understand. What about, I don't know, what about we have to like build a crew in like the amount of time and then like send it off on missions or whatever, and then you get to see, I don't know. I'm just trying to like spitball anything that's more. There's a lot of things that are more fun than Galaxy, so my brain is just like, what about this? What about that? What about this?
Chat's weighing in. Shy, our very good fellow host, is saying, I'd like a new event type that's actually fun. Just give us a dual match game and call it Stratogamer. Something where there's an actual dopamine hit or Trek trivia in the format of Spock's Learning Center. Anything different and actually entertaining. What if they took Gauntlet, split it into 3 lanes? You built a deck of cards that you took in, and they had different abilities, and you had to score a different size of the lanes.
And you could bet dilithium crystals as to whether or not you're going to win.
I was just thinking of that. That's amazing. Give different weight to different cards.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And as you go up the ranks,
You're
you
onto
can unlock
something.
different ones. Yeah, for free. Don't have to spend any money. Wouldn't that be? Oh wait, hang on a minute. Before this does devolve completely into Snap Talks, because this has Marvel Snap Talks, because this has been our addiction for a while now.
It's a fun game.
You have to think about it. You have to think about it. It's actually worthwhile. You can outplay people there. How do you outplay people in timelines? You have been playing for years longer, so you have a bigger cron cap, or you have all the crew in the game, or you've spent a lot of dilithium. It's like, those are the ways you outplay your opponent in timelines. In Snap, I don't fucking care how much money you've got. I don't care what special card variants you've got. If I have a better deck than you, or I'm playing smarter than you, I win. And that, guess what? That gets people invested.
Yeah. It's interesting as well, like, because I'm a bit of a traditionalist. Like, I play my games on my computer or console, and like my mobile is for mobile games, and I associate mobile games as like free to play with this. I know, you know, you can get BioShock on your iPad or whatever, you know, that there are proper games on there. But this is the first time I picked up my phone, played a game, and kind of gone, I'm having fun. Like, I'm getting
it's a revolutionary experience.
I'm winning and I'm losing. I've got to try that again. I've got to try a different. Like, I'm actually getting into it. It's really weird to be doing that on my phone, and it is the bane of my life.
I passed an hour without even knowing an hour passed.
You do. Yeah. And like people,
like, one more game. That's the other danger, is because it is such a short time investment for each match. Whereas you compare it to the events and timelines, where it's like, yeah, you're going for 5-6 days, and that is convenient for people who just want like an idle gameplay style where you turn in for one day, you do your stuff, and you're out. But for people who want to play their games for extended periods of time, timelines is not really conducive to that style of gameplay, really.
Some more suggestions. They should turn Gauntlet into an actual 80s Gauntlet, a top-down scrolling dungeon crawler with your 5 crew picks. That would be cool.
I'd be down for that.
Anyway, right, let's talk about some crew. Let's see if my button works now. Huzzah, it did. Fantastic. Let's bring up the crew. So, oh, and no, now it's not working. Fantastic. Oh, because I'm in chat. Hang on. No, everything's broken. Let's try that. There we go. We're going to have to do this. Right. Sorry, podcast listeners. Let's talk about this week's event crew. Slightly late. We should have known about it last week, but I believe they've had a few art approval issues. I want to say understandably why, because this art is fairly ridiculous. Cisco the Emissary will be your crew to win this week in a Galaxy event, I believe. So
would you like me to play the part of Automaton?
Yeah, absolutely.
Read it.
So in an event where you've spent enough crons already, you could spend even more. But Voyage rank 6.
Idle, let him read the flavor.
Oh, sorry. Yes, go on.
With the paw wraith sealed away, the Cisco ascended to the celestial temple with the prophets to continue his work outside time.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Effects work.
I like that.
Nice effects work.
That sounds like the synopsis for a new series.
Oh, I need to check in on that Star Trek series where Cisco's a captain again with Data and Beverly Crusher on his crew. I need to look into
Yeah,
that.
that looks interesting, actually. It's
Yeah.
a cool roster on that.
I think I saw a picture. He punches Q again. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah! Just, like, give him a suplex at this point. So who's going to bring up the elephant in the room? Why does Cisco's shoe look like the Monopoly shoe?
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
That's how... This art is 2016 beta-esque in terms of just...
It's real
Some
bad.
of them, not all of them. Some of them, I've seen that 2016 art, and some of it looks quite good, but it's just like... You know what it is? It's that uncanny valley effect where it's like, it's just close enough that I know exactly the scene that the screen cap was taken from,
Mm-hmm.
but the stylistic constraints of the artist or time have not been kind to it. That con badge is not great.
I thought this was art from that other Star Trek iOS game in the arcade that's free to play, the Star Trek whatever it is.
Oh, Legends.
Where they're all where they're all stylistically cartoon. I legitimately thought that's what that was from.
Oh, wow.
It's
Weird.
I'm not saying anything bad about anybody because I know this artist did the best he could being blind and only having one hand. God bless you, and it continued to do good work. I am just pointing out that, maybe get a prosthetic other hand or something.
I'm just picturing Dr. No at like a drawing desk, and he's got a screen cap of Cisco, and he's like, and then he falls into the radioactive water, and he can't climb up.
It's always like,
yeah, this is bad art.
If it was a bad crew, if there was like when the Voyage rank 200s, 300s, and it's bad art, you can kind of go, oh, that's terrible. But at least I don't have to look at it every day. But with this higher Voyage rank, with that many traits, with this particular skill set, you're going to be using him a lot. I think
And it's a good Cisco. When's the last time we had a legitimately good Cisco, a legendary Cisco?
Kalhaya, I think.
yeah,
And that's a year ago, easily.
Wow.
Maybe a little longer. And even then,
He doesn't get enough
good.
love.
He was good. He was not great, but he was good. And then before that, probably wasn't Ishan Che. Ishan Che was fucking great when he came out. Still is, great.
But this art is. I mean, people have noticed, but the com badge is atrocious. Like the rest of the art, you can say it's
not complete
style.
in a way.
It's not. It looks like it's been drawn with my son's crayons. It's terrible. And like we say, we've had this honest, frank chat with we've had this honest chat with Ben on the award show about art, and like he says, yeah, sometimes it doesn't work, or sometimes the artist does what they have been given to a brief, and I'm like, sometimes
it does make me wonder, what does the art approval process actually look like? Because it cannot be for quality. It cannot be for like straight up. It can't be. I'm wondering what the criteria are. Like, remember when we ranked all the uniforms during our fashion trek? We were like, these are the 5.
Hey,
Crankster.
lots of resubscribers. Love you all.
Nice. Yeah, it reminds me of when we were doing that, because we had like the 5 criteria of like what makes a good uniform, right? And it's like, what are the 5 criteria for whether or not a card passes art approval? Is it resemblance? I guess it resembles Cisco. Is it like, going to get anyone into legal trouble? I suppose not. Does it look good? It looks passable in that it is recognizably Avery Brooks. And then is it consistent with the other art in the game? Not really.
No.
Is it like of a high quality? Well, it's fine, I guess. And then they're like rubber stamp it. Meanwhile, there's probably some of the, I know, Stabbed Picard. Like I've seen that art from the data leak, and guess what? That looked great, but that didn't pass art approval because of the violence. It's like these are the extremes that you get when it's down to not how good the art is, but whether or not it matches up with a corporation's standards, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just not great. I think we've had special effects before, like humanoid figure. No, humanoid figure has like a bit of a transporter effect. Other mycelial Culber has a bit of a sort of mushroomy glow about him. This one, it kind of just does look like it's a cheap sort of filter. Like we've just cranked up the drop shadow, just to kind of go, this is Cisco in the portal from What We Leave Behind. Where I feel like that could have been done. This could have been done a bit better. This could have been done a bit more. You look at cards like Ishan Che Cisco and Desert Cisco as well. Great Cisco art. Like where was that artist for this?
Enemy lines as well.
Yeah, exactly. But the card itself is really good. Like this is going. We're going to talk about it in a bit, but we're in the middle of a really pretty good mega between Janeway and Jurati now, and now Cisco.
This is up there with the costumed mega with Human Saru and all that. It's up there.
Yeah,
and Barry Waddle.
It's really good, and this is if you're playing this Galaxy, like if you didn't go nuts for Devious Jurati, and you've got some crons to spare, or if you're not broke, then this is worth going for, I think. Like, unless you're really that outraged by the art.
Well, there's also one other thing to be outraged for, which is that skill set is... So the skill order is actually somewhat unique. I'm pretty sure that the next competitor for this skill set is Zindi Insectoid Counselor.
That's right, yeah.
Who is old. That card is like 3 years old, I think, at this point, and quite long in the tooth. So, in terms of a refresh of that particular skill order, not set, yeah, good. But it's still a dip psi crew with a set kicker. It's still
5 years old.
Wow. Oh my god.
Time is warped and space is bendable. Yeah, no, I mean, it's an okay skill set, and thinking of the scene, it does make sense in terms of like the context of it. But I don't know, it's not. I find it really hard to get excited about crew with this skill set. I find it really hard to get excited about them.
How about you, Frank?
I love it when top build. Yes, especially he should be in the A team. Wait a minute, what? I love it when some of my favorite actors get really good representation in the game, especially when they kind of haven't in the past. And yeah, I know I did the show me the good Andorian in the game joke, but I mean, he's had some good cards, but this is like a really killer card because Archer just got, which we'll cover, a really killer card. And there's been some really good Picard cards. There's a really good Janeway available 4 out of 5 if you participate in the mega. So they're like giving, props to the captains of most of the shows leading up. Skill set, he matches a lot of traits for voyages. If you get him, he will find service in your crew for a long time. He's not going to be a world beater by any means. But he's not meant to be. He's meant to be a really good representation of the character Cisco, and in this instance, the best, because he's ascended.
Yeah, it's him at the end of his character arc, at which he is arguably his best, his most mature, his most emotionally stable and happy. And so, yes, he should be an absolute fucking banger. Like, that's absolutely logic I would agree with. Yeah, I just kind of wish that, like, maybe he'll get a touch-up. I every time a bad art comes out, now that we've had like the touch-ups on 23rd Century Martok and Blood Oath Jadzia, I keep on thinking, maybe next time they get put in a pack, they'll get a touch-up, because Ben said they sometimes take that as an advantage to do it. But I'm like, they're probably not going to do a touch-up for art, where it'll be like, 9-12 months by the next time he's on a... Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since they did a new art. I think the last one was...
Well, the content train did derail, so, It
did pretty hard. The Planet Killer turned up and everything went wrong. Chip ability as well. He's got sort of a hull repair, 25% on a 22-second cycle, which people looking for hull repair.
Usable.
That's okay. Dareth Kirk is, or Dareth and sorry, I forget which Kirk. That Labour Kirk is 20 seconds in comparison. So if you're looking for a fleet boss battle upgrade, that's fairly decent. But yeah, skill set wise, I think we are in the age of just top ranks are meaningless now because they just power through in the power creep. Like you could see something better with him in the next few months, maybe. Or
easily, yeah.
If you have, looking at other people in the skill set, if you've missed out on 2024 Picard or Zindian Sectoid, Polaric Janeway, people like that, or he could be very good for a while. He could be the one you sort of go, right, I've got that skill set and move on somewhere else. And if they do power creep him, don't feel bad because you've still got a good one here. If you can get past the
Well, the way to split the difference after that point is okay. So maybe they're going to get power crept by like another 2 or 3 cards. Like, guess what? That happened with Archer. Like, we've got the stats for Archer. Oh, he's really really good. And then COP Janeway came out with basically the exact same skill set and kind of made him look a little bit worse. But guess what? Traits make all the difference there, because if they have completely different like trait sets and a ton of other stuff that they can't replicate, like. Can you think of very many like actually worthwhile Bajorans or heroes that are Voyagers? There's like maybe a handful of each that are really, really good. Like Gary Seven has had hero lockdown for a good long while. Bajoran's probably been locked down, but I think Bajoran is
I'm not sure Bajoran is actually.
I don't think it's something else. I'm not thinking of Inspiring. Inspiring has a lot of trash crew in it. But that's the thing. All it takes is one antimatter trait that comes up every so often that's fucking annoying, and it will make that crew worthwhile. That's what makes Sealer and Shadow so good. That's what can make someone like Evie Suit Uhura or any of the Adiras still voyage viable long after the America they've been surpassed.
Genos says it is actually one, so that's good. That's cool.
I trust Genos. He's never led me astray. And it's like that's all it takes for them to remain viable and to be used. That's all it takes is one antimatter trait where they will reign supreme.
Well, speaking of Voyagers, so we previously asked WRG the question, or a lot of people have asked this, many people from all over the universe have asked the question, when will 5 stars drop on Voyagers? Will there ever be a 5-star exclusive reward on Voyagers? And the answer has always been a resounding no. Why would you? Why would we give away?
And the quiet answer was when we can monetize it.
It's a shame Auto's not here this week. Because my button's working. Vori Defender Chakotay, out of freaking nowhere, WRG just kind of went, "Oh yeah, you can get him after 6 hours in a voyage now. Bye." Anyone can do that. Like 6 to 12 hour voyages. You at some point, if you get the dilemma. Now, just to clarify a few points on this, you have to have a dilemma that would normally reward a crew. So it's one of the 100 honor ones. I forget the actual types. One would usually get a per
something like what defend water passenger and stuff like that.
Something in the sky, where beneath the sky,
where Earth meets sky, the space station one.
Those ones. You have a chance to drop him from there after 6 hours, which is quite generous in a way, because I think if they were going to talk about the idea of putting 5-star crew in a voyage, I would have put it at 12 hours, where everyone's sort of starting to get up to now.
No, it's not. You know what they want? Someone at the office was like, put it at 20 hours, and then someone was like, A, our voyages can't handle going past 18 hours without crashing, and B, I don't know how to program that anymore because the engineer who did that code left 4 years ago.
Literally, this is the
only
only
thing
they've done.
Fine, we'll do 6 hours.
They can't fix it. They could just put more broken crew in it.
Don't worry, you'll never get him.
So, before we talk about the card, like, what do we think is the impetus for suddenly kind of going, oh, let's put 5 stars in? Like, is this the kind of emergency situation, the kind of like, right, we can't release the patch, we've got no new boss, quick break glass in case of, in case of content emergency? And I think that putting 5 stars in Voyagers might have been that, in my opinion.
The conspiracy theory hat that I would like to put on right now. I would love to agree with you, but let me play cynic here for a second. He hates, and they hate hoarding resources, and they know they've gone and they've looked underneath your covers at night when you sleep, player, and they've seen how many voyage tokens you have, and you say, I don't need these. I've got the voyage exclusive crew, or the voyage exclusive crew doesn't matter. They know, and they say, I need that number depleted. How do I do it? They give you something to chase. Or they just genuinely said, shit, we need something new. What do we do? Golds.
Well, let's put it this way. This is maybe the single most disposable gold they could have put on a Voyage exclusive dilemma. Because not only is he a Chakotay, but he is Dip Command Sec.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything more replaceable.
Like, he's strong.
See, now I'm glad Auto's not here.
Yeah, he's up there in strength, which is good, but with the added butt of the skill set, like that is.
It's good to the earlier point that it's accessible to almost any player. that can make 6 hours because you've got an
Unless
even
he's in the
chance. Yeah, because if you hit 6 hours, then it's just a roll of the dice of are you going to get them or not. That's a 5-star crew that you'd normally have to wait if you're a low-level player or a non-spending player, for a mega event or something to get a free crew. And this one effectively is free. But it's not like no one's going to suddenly like vault to the top of any leaderboard or anything with them. You have to be Chakotay's #1 fan. You have to be Robert Beltran himself to say.
I don't think even Robert Beltran is that
Yes.
big, but good.
No,
No,
he's not.
Well, he did come back for Prodigy, so there's that.
That's true. Yeah, but it's in this sweet spot where I think they did make ultimately the right choice. Where if you're like me and it took you like 6 years to finish off your copy of Ensign Picard, and you didn't get, I have no chance of ever seeing this card. Guess what? You can absolutely replicate this here else. But if you get lucky and you get a copy, guess what? That'll serve you well for a good long while.
Yeah.
So it's good in that respect.
I think talk about what you were saying about Frank about depleting voyage tokens. I think you're right. I think that's what they want to happen. But the fact of the matter is, hey, I stole your catchphrase, Stars. You can get them at 6, 8, 10, 12. That's if you're making 12s or 6, 8, and 10 at least. You've got 3 other chances. Recall, start again. There's no impetus to spend a voyage token for this because you're just as likely to get it. The only reason you might want to spend a voyage token is if you want Ensign Picard or Colonel Worf or some of those other voyage exclusive crews. This kind of the way they've programmed this doesn't encourage me to do it in the same way it would for those, or getting more star on them. So it's I'm definitely of the opinion of just like, if it happens, it happens. Yay! Congratulations to those people that have got them already, and congratulations to the person that first maxed it day 1. Wow.
Hour 1.
No.
They had a
Literally
dilemma
straight
loaded.
away.
Yeah,
no, that is actually a little bit crazy. I'm kind of surprised by that. But I'm curious, do I still have talk amongst yourselves? Yes, I actually still have our version of this crew.
Oh, I might have the card.
So do we want to do a comparison?
Let me have a look. Hang on. Let me bring up the. Hang on.
Let me put it in show chat for you.
No, I've got them all here. Hang on. I just got to find the folder I put them all in. Oh, where's the button? There it is. Our Timeline Stalks Originals. Timeline Stalks, not fake crew. Stars tell us who's first. Right, let me find it. Where is it? Fake crew. There it is. Oh, is it Chakotay? Hang on.
It's not fake crew. How dare you label it like that?
Chakotay. Oh, here he is. There we go. I've got it. I'll pop it. Oh, I can't import it anymore because OBS is crap. Right, hang on.
It's a fake.
You know what? I'll accept that one. That's well played.
Right, I'm still bringing it up. Hang on.
Wow, look at him try.
It was a mistake giving Genos access to sub-triggers.
It really was. Here he is. Oh, hang on. Let's get rid of real Chakotay for a minute and bring up fake Chakotay. So this is the one. This is the one you made, Stars. So you were wrong.
Can we get them side by side?
Not easily. I'll tell you what. I'll read out real Chakotay. You talk about fake Chakotay, and I'll tell you how they size up.
Okay, so I gave him sex side dip,
Nice.
which I think is the better skill set. Obviously, he had command instead, despite the fact that he is brainwashed and under the command of others. So not what I would usually associate with having command, but okay. Human Starfleet Federation Marquis Inspiring Hero. Oh yeah, he had a billion traits. So I forgot
You give
about,
everyone a billion traits.
Well, because I'm accurate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you definitely.
I wasn't too far off for the voyage rank.
No, pretty good. That's pretty close. I was going to say, let me have.
I didn't make him gauntlet capable, if I recall. I made him kind of gauntlet, but they pumped him up a little bit. He's got like a 900 roll, right?
You've definitely got the same kind of in different areas, but I don't think you gave him the same ship battle. His one was Motherless Beast for his ship battle thing, whereas you said, I wish it was easy to stop hating as it was to start.
One of the best ship battle names out there. Motherless Beast.
Anyway, right, let's move on. So yeah, that Chakotay is out there now in the wild. For those who are lucky enough to get him, but don't think you have to spend voyage tokens to get him. If you're regular making 8 to 10 hours, just keep rolling them. You'll get them eventually. And if you don't, oh well. There's plenty more Command Dipset crew in the sea.
Oh no, my Chakotay.
Oh no, hey, my crew slots. That is another thing as well. A lot of people are slim on crew slots, and they're now worried, like, oh no, I better start making 4-hour voyages because I'm gonna accidentally get Chakotay and have to airlock someone better.
Nah, just airlock Chakotay, he'll come around again.
What do you use your... Janos asks, what do you use your voyage tokens on now? Usually on top of a nice salad with a bit of dressing. How about you guys?
I burn them in a fire to keep myself warm.
In this climate.
Yeah.
I've been out for quite some time, but they were delicious.
Fantastic. Let's go to... Hey, we've got a new month-long objective event. Why does this button only sometimes decide to work today? What? Hang on.
It's new in content, not new in framework.
No.
We have a set of 3 objective events that we're kind of cycling through as it stands in the game kind of right now. And then we occasionally have that really awful fleet boss battles one.
Yeah, we'd less said about that one, the better. Win. If you play over the next month, you've got a whole, I think, another 3 weeks left to complete plenty of gauntlet rounds, plenty of ship battles, plenty of lots of things to get yourself Win 4 of 5 stars. There's also a free one in the store as well if you haven't claimed it. Guys.
Frank, can we get some flavor text? I imagine she has some. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a fool.
After the Kardashian occupation, Wynn became the first new Kai, and her electoral victory was accepted as the will of the prophets.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
What
nice. The Kardashian occupation, huh?
Yes.
I just had a horrible thought, what would be like a Kim Kardashian occupation, or they take over.
She ruins Marilyn Monroe dresses and then makes you watch.
Dear, oh dear. So this has been a long requested card, because Kai Wynn, for as much as we hate her, is an excellent character played by the dearly departed.
She's so
Louise
good.
Fletcher.
She's such a good villain.
Just definitely, between this and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Louise Fletcher has that characters you love to hate vibe going on. Very good, and this is talking of good art. This is great art. This is a good representation of.
Yeah, no. Where
Kai
the
Wynn.
fuck was
Yeah.
Not to begrudge this art, because Louise Fletcher is a powerhouse. She deserves all the wonderful representation in the world. But why the fuck have we got Kai Wynn looking perfect? What was it Otto said about Socrates at the time, that he looked like a chess piece? With her hat, I could see her on a little Star Trek themed chessboard.
Yeah.
And yet Cisco gets snubbed with the Playmates version of himself.
I mean, the artist had one hand and he could only draw one at a time, Cisco, so they had to get the other artist, It's unfortunate.
It's the flip side of the prophets and the Par-Wraiths here, isn't it? We've got they're the wrong way round. Definitely the Par-Wraith has got the sexier option here. But Command Dipsite Air. This is, depending on how far you are in the game.
It's just the 6th one they've given us of the skill set and an objective event, because there was Chef Pike. Who was before that? Yeah, we've had a good few of them that come through.
Spock as T'Pring was same. She was.
That's the campaign.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's campaign 1. Yeah, don't let us use.
They all blend together.
Yeah, guess what? When they have the skill set, they absolutely do.
Solkar as well. Yeah, that was a very similar one.
Yeah, Solkar. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, this is, if you've been playing for a while, you don't need her. If you're new and you go, ooh, Kai Wynn, I love DS9, DS9's 30th anniversary, maybe you've picked up the game and you've got the ability to do that much of the game over a month, if you've got the patience to play 150 gauntlet rounds, kudos to you. I wouldn't,
blended in with the other objective events. That is kind of a good mix of the two, that you can do both and it kind of equips itself over time. It's not terrible, but then that necessitates you to play Gauntlet, which is so
yeah, this is, it's okay. I mean, we know between this and Cisco, we're itching for a Bajoran collection. This has to be.
I would. The Bajorans are such a well sketched out alien race. I feel like we know so much about them thanks to how in depth DS9 went about them. There's a lot of DS9 secondary characters I'm always happy to think about. I'm also going to have to read out this wonderful comment from Kyra for some, because I can actually hear Louise Fletcher when I read it. So I'm going to do my best impression. Don't complain, my child. The prophets rightfully made our Kai wonderful. The emissary is just an outsider, and he looks like that as well. That's fine, my child. Walk with the prophets.
Wow.
You
I
know,
can
this
hear the
is-
condensation.
Oh yeah,
Condensation?
condescension. All
Yeah,
right,
I thought-
Miles Braun, calm it down.
Can hear it funneling through you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need this card, but I still wanted this card because it's Kai Wynn, and Kai Wynn's fantastic. Like, not.
Well, it's also a
morally,
case of the
but
skill set gets a
character-oriented.
pass here
Yeah.
because I think I made this crack in her big book note. She is damaging to infrastructure and spiritual well-being on contact. So Med and Eng are right the fuck out. Like, she is not a therapeutic presence at all.
No. So Shai says, wait, do we get an explanation of why Kai Wynn, who shut down an actual science class, has science as a skill? That's a good point.
Because the Bajoran religion is based on actual observable celestial phenomena in the form of the Celestial Temple, aka the Bajoran wormhole. So you get a pass.
Maybe they're kind of bundling in religion with science there and just going, oh, we don't have a faith stat, so maybe we'll do that. We'll just give it the Kai trait.
Yeah, if you have she's your cleric in your D&D party, that's what she's doing.
Oh my god. We'd be dead.
She's really passive aggressive. If you don't follow the Bajoran religion, you ain't getting healed when the Lich King turns up.
She's not healing anybody.
Maybe herself.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's healing people
She'll look
that will help
fabulous,
her.
though.
Yeah.
She's looking around the tavern for all the other orcs that were like, oh, I can use you. Yeah. How about?
I do also appreciate that this is actually not evil Kai Wynn, right? This is this is not rogue Kai Wynn from the season 7 finale, where she had actually just gone batshit crazy nuts and was gonna freaking do all of reality. This is normal Kai Wynn from when she's just doing Bajoran politics. Still a villain. I feel like that's hilarious.
Season 3, season 4?
Season 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when they knocked off Barial.
Oh, Baral, yeah, 'cause he was
but
supposed
still a
to be,
villain.
and then, yeah, and he got turned into half a robot.
Yeah.
We can replace him.
Like, she
but
gets
we
a villain
don't have
trait
the
just because
budget
she's
to
an
employ him.
asshole. I love it.
Yeah, just pure bitchiness. How about a little bit of news that's happened over the last, well...
News.
9.2.0, the patch that's supposed to be coming in with Fleet Boss Battle improvements, all sorts of new things. One of the things has been delayed. Sorry, Frank. That is the biggest face drop I have seen for a long time. Now, we have been told it will be imminent, like in the next few weeks, maybe, but I think there's some last minute things. So if everyone wondering, where's my 9.2 patch? Well, it's coming. It's coming. So I believe the improvements are there's going to be some like back end improvements, and the Fleet Boss Battle officers.
That's what my doctor said as well.
Will be able to lock battles out for everyone. So people that don't start rogue battles, like just wasting their valor on silly little hard battles for a little bit of bellitrium and honor. Oh, how could you? That's not a viable strategy. Disgusting.
Who would kill 6 hards a day?
Absolutely.
I don't know my ex-wife has something to say about that.
and part of me at this point, I that bad part of my brain says, listen, if we're this far into fleet boss battles and you're still in a fleet with people who are just firing up easy for no reason, you got to take some initiative to like put them out the airlock or just
you
blow
gotta
up your
take them
fleet.
out back behind Kirk's barn and just
Yeah.
get the phaser shotgun.
I'm just looking over. So we going back about a month ago for where there was an exclusive state of the game came out on Discord and the forums and it turned out on Reddit and Twitter and everywhere else.
Exclusive.
Yes, so there's going to be a few other quality of life upgrades coming. There's going to be Voyages. You will now have the ship selection screen will now actually have the proper one from the shipyard UI. So no more tapping 43 times to get the Zindian sectoid ship. You can just use the search. Holy shit. Finally. Now, can they just do that for crew in the ship battle selection screen? That would be real good.
The fact that they went to the effort of making like 15 different UIs, making more work for themselves instead of just going for the one good one.
Yeah. If it's got a search, that's all you need. Just a search. That's all you need. But then they put in your previously selected ship in Voyages will now carry over from when selecting the next ship, which sounds like the most pointless thing ever because your antimatter bonus changes. So I really want to use the Excelsior 5 times in a row. Never mind that 25 a.m.
1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Plot twist. 9.2 introduces a bug that Voyages repeat ad nauseum on the set that they're on.
Voyages will continue until morale improves.
And they know this, so they said, let's make it easy, because we can't fix it.
Onto fleet boss battles, other than what I've already mentioned about battle restrictions, there's also going to be a fix for damage hull reduction. Now, I know a lot of people had...
Oh, yeah.
And if anyone's interested, talk to Jim Berlin and No Name Namer in our Discord about what that matters, because I think there's going to be some... ship setups that become a little less viable. I believe the 171 Enterprise is going to take a hit from that. So
the ISS Enterprise, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yes, the ISS. Sorry, yes. Okay, they all look Constitution to me. The more impactful thing is that there's going to be a bridge level expansion where formerly they said we're going to introduce a new boss, and they might still introduce a new boss for season 2. At the moment, I think they said they haven't worked out what that's going to be or not found the potential in it, and they're actually going to extend the rewards. I don't think they said how long it's going to be, so we're going to go past level, level 4. What is the top level now? 20.
We're at level 20 at the moment.
Level 20, that's right. So I imagine it'll go up to level 30, 40. They haven't said what the rewards are going to be yet, so
I love how the instant they announced multiple captain bridges, everyone's like, I hope I get this, I hope I get that, and then they're like, actually we can't even do more than one. It's like
so there's a little bit of a problem there. Hey, we said we weren't going to get down. We're not going to get down on this now. We've had our moaning shows. We're going to be...
I love being miserable. It powers me.
So yeah,
I'm kidding. It's this thing where it's like, this is the reason why they don't want to have a roadmap, because then stuff like this happens, and then people will point at and be like, "You lied to us." And it's guess what?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. No, I don't think they were lying to us. I think that game development is an incredibly tricky process, and things change in the end.
Of all things, I'm not too upset about this. It's okay. At least they've come out and said it is changing. We are going. Not, using words like they're going back on the word is horrible. They're not doing that. They're just changing the plan. And I would rather than come up with a plan and go, plans change, let's do something else, rather than sort of be ubiquitous and we have no communication. So that's fine. More rewards is always good. Guaranteed people that have hit level 20, like I believe that the 3 of us have, we're going to be stockpiling shitloads of Bellitrium and Magnesite, so be able to fly through a fair few.
I keep on having to scrape all my leftover magnesium off into the premium pools. Like when you have too many like bits of food on your plate, you have to scrape it off into the bin. It's like you always feel bad about it. I'm like, I guess I should use this magnesium for the...
Young man, you need to eat all up your own boy.
Guess what? It depends on who's cooking. If I'm cooking, nothing gets left behind because I cook for good stuff. But other people,
I've never cooked for you, so you can't claim. I will do though.
Well, if you kill me baked beans, I'm killing you.
Well, you did. What? Hang on. You're not a proponent of the baked bean mafia as well, are you?
I hate them. I can't stand them.
God.
They make me feel sick to look at them.
Anyway, moving on. I was going to do fake.
I hereby renounce your British citizenship
I do.
on behalf of His Majesty King George III from 350 years ago. You're now American.
Is that not the Mad King George? I forget.
Doesn't matter.
How do you like free stuff? Do you like free things? Well, you've missed one pack of free things, but there is a pack in the store for free things now. So Convergence Day pack. Since they're celebrating 7 years of Star Trek timelines, yes, and we're actually getting something decent instead of hey, it's Convergence Day Quark again. No, we're doing some good stuff. No, apart from this mega, which we'll talk about in a short while, Convergence Day packs have come up in the store. There was one last week for Convergence Day Quark, Mariachi Q, and 7 in Silver, which if you got that, congratulations to you. And this one is up in the store at the moment for Dr. Bones. Good. Med base, Loire Paris, returning Saru, kind of both CDS, strong, but whatever you need. All to introduce as well a Convergence Day collection, which is a vanity-based collection, which gets you some pulls and shit.
And shit. We refuse to elaborate. It's a lot of credits. It's a lot of honor. A lot of chronotons. I was quite happy to get it, even though I got jack shit. I've gotten like 30 pulls without a single goal, so I'm feeling a little bit like stingy about that. That being said, I now have 19 million credits, which is an absolute ridiculous fortune for me. So I'm set for crispy crumbs for a while, so I can't be too angry about it.
Yeah.
It's better than running the same 7-year-old event over and
Yes,
over
exactly.
and over with the
For a
expanded
card everyone
community
has finished.
rewards.
Yeah.
Yes, this is, and even for people out there that are like, well, but I needed that last start. That card sucks. Okay, go retrieve it or just cite it. Don't worry about it. They release, literally, since we've been on the air, they've released 3 more crew that are better than that one. We don't even know who they are yet, but they're out in the game. Go find them. Just be happy that 7
You can
years
literally
into
pick one up on your fucking
On your
voyages
way-
right now.
it's probably in your pocket. You just didn't know it. You're just emptying your pocket and you're like, what the
Oh, what's
god,
in here
is
with the
this
lint? Oh, it's a
oh
gold.
god, is
Jesus.
that a Riker? Just be happy that 7 years into a mobile game of a market that does not have lifespan of 7 years usually, this thing's still going, and they just created new stuff and they're giving it to you for free. That's I think a good thing. So let's be happy about that, and don't be upset you didn't get your 4th copy of that Quark.
But you still can, because there was
But
that
what if-
giveaway last
what
week.
if
But
I
you
love
can,
Quark?
yes. I don't even think Armin Shimmerman loved. Well, actually, he does. He does.
He
love
does.
Quark.
He has the teeth. He still has the
He
teeth.
does. Yeah.
like-
He adores that character. It was back on
Yeah.
Lower Decks fairly recently.
But even then, he'd probably be like, "Can I get a good variant?" Because what was the last good one? Stranded Quark?
Stranded Quark, which is he's now starting
What,
to
4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
all the crew that you're like, oh, but they're still a good crew 5 years ago.
Yeah. Still Voyages for me.
Well, guess what? That's what you'll be saying about the crew you're getting in this mega right now in about 5 years, as the game continues
Absolutely.
on at the same pace.
5 years. If we're still here in 5 years talking about timelines and not, skipping free in the field somewhere, enjoying the rest of our lives, and then something's gone horribly wrong.
Well, you know what I hope? I legitimately hope that in 5 years' time we have a second Trek video game renaissance as spearheaded by
Yes.
Prodigy's tie-in and that Resurgence game. And guess what? I can actually play an actual video game with gameplay. And then guess what? Then I won't have to look at this game and be like, well, it's not a lot of game here, but it does have the Star Trek characters that I love.
You could just play Elite Force. Elite Force rules. We've just finished it on our channel, and it's such a good game. I really enjoyed Elite Force.
It really is.
Really
Become
good.
in peace, shoot to kill.
So, before we talk about this current campaign, there's a little bit of news on the forums. Shan recently let slip that the next campaign crew that you will be getting in the Uber campaign, if you shell up the $20, pounds, quatlus, however much for it, is going to be to Kenny Gamore from 2 episodes
Cool.
of DS9, Cardassian.
Leader of the dissident movement.
Exactly.
He's my favorite Kardashian.
Yes. Name, and that's your job. Yes, so yeah, he'll be the next campaign next month. So Cardassian themed. Who can we see going with him? I wonder if they're going to do Second Skin Kira, maybe.
Obsidian Ornicura, yeah.
Yeah.
I could also see Paul Wraith Cult to Cut.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be because I haven't finished.
I mean,
yeah.
I know
If it's
Shan
a-
has the reputation of putting every collection on the announcement screen. They are in this collection, but that would literally take about 3 years because he is in every collection.
Yeah.
If they are going to do a DS9 collection, oh boy, I'm just going to pick a random gold, and I'm going to put all my money that this is going to be the second track gold. It is going to be 1701 O'Brien.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that.
You know what? Yeah, because he hates Cardassians. Let's put him in a campaign with 2 of them.
No, you need him and Gulmasset, I think, would be the you get the Wounded collection. That'd be great.
And what would that collection be called? It'd be called Fuck the Spoonheads or what?
Oh God, I just realized it's going to be Convergence Day Quark.
And again, just to go with all that. Well, yeah, that's coming up. But how about we talk about this? Is my button going to work this time? It is. Why is this randomly going through? Okay, hang on. So let me scroll back to Nell Apgar. For Breaking Bad fans, you may recognize the actor. Please, stars. Who is this? Who is he in The Breaking of Bads? I have not watched it, so I don't know.
How the fuck would I know? I ain't watched that.
Oh, I thought you had. I thought that you wrote the bloody note.
No.
Or was that Genos that wrote the note? Or was
No,
it
that's
Nikki?
Genos read the note.
Oh, okay. Genos, tell us who.
Professionalism.
Got one in for 2023. Nice. Okay, Nell Apgar
He
is
is
your current Hector
Hector
Salamanca.
Salamanca? Whoever
Okay,
that is.
there we go. Ding, ding, ding.
He sounds like he sells Corinthian leather chairs.
Okay.
Well, he is in a chair. No spoilers.
Helpful.
It's a great scene. Of all the it's not a Star Trek spoiler, I guess. Of all the characters in a TV show to have an exit, like you watch a show and you're like, well, they're gonna kill that character off eventually. This is one of the best exits of a character you can dream up.
Oh wow.
Like even like if you're drunk or like high on Ketracel White, it's pretty out there.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Current campaign, you can if you're the shelling money out kind or want to wait till the portal upgrades, Sci-Sec Eng is a nice skill set. That's fairly rare. So
that's quite nice, and it is actually appropriate for the character as well.
Yeah.
Frank, can we get the flavor text? I actually must have flavor, right?
Absolutely.
With the early arrival of the Enterprise, Apgar attempts to misdirect an investigation into his secretly completed project.
That's a little bit generic. But you know what? It's fine. Because I don't know about you guys. I fucking hate this episode.
Is this the one where Riker gets convicted of
where it's
being
implied
a
that Riker
murderer
sexually
and-
assaulted someone?
and a man whore?
Yeah.
It's I don't
it's awful.
mind it. It's a thinly veiled episode, but they do it again on Voyager,
it's a
don't they?
rip-off of Rashomon, but it doesn't get Rashomon is fine because you don't then go off and do 4 more years of adventures with the people from Rashomon. I don't have to look at the samurai, the disgraced samurai, or the wife from Rashomon for another 4 years and think, what happened in that grove with your husband? I had to look at Riker. And I had to think about the fact that that woman genuinely thought she was telling the truth about her being sexually assaulted by him. And I think, man, you guys did not think about that for a second, did you?
This is, it was an episode that was 90% accusations and then like, oh, we need to finish the episode. Mind games. It's all mind games.
Always mind games.
Yeah.
I also always get it mixed up with what's it, Ex Post Facto, that really awful Tom Paris memory
that was
dog
what I was going to mention
episode.
earlier. It's exactly the same. It's the same episode. I think it's one with. Is there one with? Oh, it kind of happens to Odo as well, but in a different way. He gets in like early DS9, A Man Alone. He kind of got, but that was.
We forgot to write a script. What have we got? One of the characters is falsely accused of scientist murder. Cool, let's run with it.
Yeah.
And then they quietly put down their space horny script that they have ready at all times.
Yes, it's a princess. She's being transported somewhere, and the member of the crew is either Picard or Tucker. One of the two.
Yeah.
Throw a pin.
Beverly Crusher fucks. Quick, somebody, give me a relative. Give me a name. Give me a name.
Shakar.
Cement Richter.
Ghost fucker Crusher. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Nailed it.
GFC does sound like a drug.
That being said, this is very nice art. I like that it's a static pose that makes sense because he's actually giving the toast. These are good traits. People wish they had traits these good.
I wish I had traits this good.
I don't know. What would you have, Idle? You'd have Human Federation, Desperate, Jerry Rigger. I see you're in the middle of dry January. How are you not desperate?
True. Okay, I'll give you that. This is a month-long trait.
Bartender.
Yeah.
Chef.
Scoundrel.
Yeah. Scoundrel. Yeah, I'll take scoundrel.
Prisoner.
Explorer. Yeah, prisoner. Yeah. Cold.
Cold. Yeah, I'm cold.
Survivalist. There you go.
Well, what about Frank's trait?
Casual.
I can't be the only one that gets traded today. How about Frank? Frank has to have costumed.
Yeah, absolutely. Human Federation. He has to. We have to bring back the old trait of Rich.
Rich, yeah.
Lord.
In game. Yeah, Lord.
Yeah. I miss Lord.
Special envoy.
That was a long
Baritone.
forgotten when they gave EV suit Archer away when he debuted. He was like, I don't even remember. He was like the 500th crew or something.
Yeah.
And they sent it to you in the mail. They said special Federation envoy, and you're like, ooh, EV Archer. And you're like, oh,
The guy who's not
Okay.
a member of the Federation, probably one of the worst diplomats they ever had.
If he had a log and a chainsaw, he was right there. How about you, Stars? I think we'd have to bring back Brad.
That's fine. I'll happily take Brett. Have we got the trait of Queen? Can I have the trait of Queen?
Royalty.
Royalty.
Ah,
Yeah,
there you
royalty
go.
would
I'll
apply
take
to
royalty. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Is there anything for like well-groomed hair? What could that apply to?
Costumes maybe.
Costume? Yeah, maybe. Oh dear. Anyway, this card. So yeah, this is. Would you buy? I'd be tempted to say wait for Turn in the Portal. It's a great skill set. Strong voyage rank, and I think he will drop, but his skill set will.
He'll voyage long past his sell-by date with this skill set.
Definitely.
Like, what have you got in this skill set? You've got Flint, you've got Mistral. These are good names to be in companion with, and there's not a lot of overlap in terms of traits between them as well. Hey, Ben. Ben's in chat. Congratulations, Mr. Apgar is an excellent campaign crew. You should be very proud. I look forward to another sterling skill set for Takeni Gamor.
He's actually the top of his triplet as well, Nel Apgar. So he's a strong crew, good crew.
He's a good crew.
Number 2 science base.
Oh wow, that's actually eat shit, Bryce.
Tasty. Okay, we're in the midst of a unseasonable mega. It is, from what we're expecting, just play normal games. No. We get some more crew with COP Janeway of Coalition Order of Planets. Janeway, imagine her traveling through time and actually forming the Federation by destroying various species along the way and committing all sorts of crimes. Actually, much like Archer, they have a lot in common. She is your mega crew, so if you've played the last 2 events and the next 2 events, you will get her 4 of 5. And Command Dip Eng, guys, worthy of the final sight or not?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, they seem to be madly in love at the moment with the Dip Command Eng or Command Dip Eng. Like, Eng is a kicker, essentially. We've had Archer, we had, I think it was Detmer in the last Mega, a few other cards since then. I have First Officer Una, a good few cards with this skill set. Well, Agamus is an Eng primary, so that's a very different kettle of fish. It's another repackaging of Command Dip, but Eng has always been more uncommon than Sec or Sai, so I'll take it every time. And it's also... So there's something I really love about this Mega that I don't feel like a lot of people have been talking about. Or maybe I just love the sound of my own voice. There is a representative of every single series in the crew for this Mega, with the exception of TAS. And as a representation for Voyager, this is a great pick. Like, that's great art for Janeway. I feel like this might have been a concept they had in mind back when they did that Battle for New York voting event, and we got COP Picard, because he even says in his flavor text that he's the winner of that voting thing. And it was probably germinating in their idea. I can't wait for next year when we get COP founder Cisco. I'd be down for that. That'd be cool. It's cool. Like, guess what? As a free card, I will take it, and it's better than Command Dipsec. Yeah, I appreciate it. And there are not enough good Janeways in the game. There's Disguised Janeway, who's a bit... I wasn't a massive fan of the art, but this is a nice... I will be happy to use her on Voyagers.
So the interesting thing about the art is it's actually the same head as the 4-star Janeway. It's pretty much near identical, but just tarted up a little bit.
Near identical, but not quite.
Yeah, so it's a little bit. I think we had this complaint with Uhura and the Astronaut.
Pathfinder Uhura.
Yeah. But do you know what? It looks really good. I'm not going to complain too much because this is just it's really nice.
Good traits.
I also think it is different enough from the 4-star Janeway that I am pretty sure it's not traced, which I think makes a big difference. I'm actually fairly certain that this is probably taken from one of the screen caps for a promotional, I think it's like the season 5, season 6 promo art where like they're all standing in the mess hall and she's like standing in the front. I'm pretty sure that's the exact pose they've gone with for that, which that's what I think of when I think of Janeway. I think of this pose and this confidence. So yeah, if you're gonna trace over your own work, trace over the good stuff.
And much like Cisco, we're getting a killer version of a particular lead series card. So she's probably arguably the best Janeway in the game right now. You could make arguments for others, but she's up there. So a good card, good representation, good art. You get 4 or 5 and an unannounced Mega. It's like, if you've got a sight or 50,000 honor burning a hole in your pocket, this is a good place to use it.
I'd agree.
Ben just dropped in the chat to say, new client releasing very, very, very soon. So, yeah, look out for that. A little bit of breaking news. The campaign has actually just dropped. And so 2 bits of interesting news here. One, I am a prophet, because Cardassian Kira is the 4-star to go into Kenny Gamore.
There you go. Yeah.
The second one
Makes sense.
is a bit more controversial. The 5-star in the premium, so just the basic reward. Do you want to say it, Frank?
Convergent state quark?
It is, unfortunately not. It's High Roller Cisco, which we've
Again?
had before in a campaign. So this is a repeat. So this... I know we said we were not going to go on a complaining streak, but I don't like that. I don't like we're doing it again.
Well, also, it doesn't match the...
No.
What is the actual official theme? Is it a DS9 anniversary
Deep Space
campaign?
Nine is the theme of next count. 30 years of DS9. I can think of a load of other cards they could have picked.
Well, yeah, I'm also thinking you picked Obsidian Order, Kira, and Kenny Gamore, who are from the same episode and have that thematic link. Why not someone like Tora Zial, who fits that kind of theme of Cardassian found family, or even Parik Cult Dukat, who again is like another aspect of Cardassian culture and the opponent to Gamore, or hell, freaking Revolutionary Damar, who represents the new, the brave new front of Cardassian. No, let's go with High Roller Cisco for. I don't know. It feels like someone in the office was campaigning for a Cardassian campaign, and then someone's like, "Well, they like big bases, right?"
But it's been done before. Like we've never had a campaign repeat.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, they have 1,200
have
bloody
nothing.
cards.
Except my honor.
Thank you, Loki.
True.
They have over 500 goals to pick from. Many of DS9 has the highest rate of cards in the game. There are more DS9 cards than any other series.
Does it really? I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. And they could have picked any other one to go in there than one that's been repeated. So I'm kind of a bit annoyed by that because that makes me less want to get it because I don't want.
I feel like they really should just introduce a random behold, just like the Uber campaign for the premium, because it's at this point we're starting to get a lot of duplicates, like ones that I've already had finished, and it's like. Especially considering the fact that in this last campaign, the App Guard campaign, I got 0 golds from any of the premium packs. Yeah. If I could at least guarantee that instead of like a 5-star Jazz Odo that I'm gonna have to airlock, I could at least get something else or a chance, I would way appreciate that over a locked-in standard gold, as it were. Sorry.
So
for a little flavor on this, and I agree absolutely that there needs to be more beholds, and I know that's hard to code because we've talked with Ben and the staff about that. High Roller Cisco, 4 years old in the game, and for the entirety of those 4 years, #1 security base until just a month ago when Javini was introduced and finally usurped him. But for long, he has been the #1 security base in the game, and he was featured in a campaign in 2019.
Was it only a few months after his event?
I don't even think he was in the portal yet. So this was the only other way to get him. So it's been long enough to where a lot of the current players, because you got to think in 2 or 3 years time, we've had a lot of player turnover in the player base too. So I'm not defending the choice, but I could see the point in saying, well, there's probably a lot of people that would find value in him, and thematically he's dressed up, he's snazzy, he's better than Tora Zial because she's like card. But I agree, I too he would not be my top 3 choices for this, but
because the closest we came to the situation was when they put Mirror Jean-Luc Picard in the campaign, because he had previously been not only the recipient of the Mega campaign, but also he had been given away for free as a result of a snafu. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but he was another one where people complained when he turned up in the campaign because I already have this card. A lot of people already did. And this is kind of doubling down on that. And it does hurt the value of the campaign, genuinely speaking, when you do this. For most people, it's still easily the best value proposition in the game, but especially for someone like me who just got burned by the last campaign, I'm looking at it, I'm like, do I really care about Kenny? Do we have stats for Gamore? Have they been dropped on the forum?
Not yet.
If he's command sec, then that's going to be really hard to justify. Oh, is he got
gorgeous
red alarm, red alarm, red alarm.
Yes, thank you.
The holds for Gauntlet crew, I feel like, is becoming close to essential. There are like 10 of them.
Yeah,
it's too hard. It's gonna be too hard.
It's way too tricky to get a hold of the ones you actually want.
That's my number one quality of life improvement request for the game is incorporating beholds into these various aspects, like Gauntlet,
You know what?
like the second track of the campaign, because it's just you've got so many golds now, and some of them are impossible to retrieve.
Is if you could, for every number 1 finish in a Gauntlet, you got a point towards. You'd say like you get 3 number 1 finishes in a Gauntlet, like not sequential because that's ridiculous. You can't guarantee that, but say like 3 over a period of time, and then you get a token for a behold of all Gauntlet gold crew. Like that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the one you want, but at least it means you get a chance. And that incentivizes spending in Gauntlet for the monetization aspect. Ben, if you're listening, and for the people who just really, really work hard at Gauntlet and have been cultivating good lineup, it means you actually have a chance of narrowing in on the few that you want. Because I'm missing the final star and Bartender Guide, and that's only getting harder and harder with each new one that they introduce.
Yeah.
And if they introduced this ability where getting number 1 in Gauntlet actually got you shit instead of the fucking butt kiss I get every time, then maybe I'd be more inclined to maybe spread a little bit of dilithium around to get my chances up. I don't know.
What if they retired some crew from the Gauntlet and put them into general population? Say someone like
Or the Honor Hall.
Or the Honor Hall. Like Locutus and Guinan, took them out, replaced them with the new one. So you've got a constant set of like 6 or 7 in there to rotate between. I think that makes a bit more sense to say, right, we're just going to change the tags.
Yeah.
These guys are available. They're old crew now. Locutus is still amazing. Bartender Guinan, still good for one thing, but like, it'd be nice if they just maybe actually had a rotation and retired them.
Yeah, I think this kind of ties back to what Frank was saying earlier on the show, where this is a relic of this game being like 7 years old. This Gauntlet was introduced 5-6 years ago. Back when there was 1 gold and then there was 2 golds, so it was like you were either going to get Guinan or you're going to get Locutus, and that was a completely fine dichotomy. Now it's down to like 9-10 crew.
Well, yeah,
we're getting up there in the numbers. It's not really fit for purpose anymore.
And I haven't looked, but I'm betting that we're probably getting close to another Gauntlet crew. It's time for Koloth and Korax to step down.
Who could you follow up with that? Okay, let's go something a bit more positive. Stars, I believe it's time for
Timeline Talks Originals. Timeline Talks, not fake crew. Stars, tell us who's first.
Stars, please. While I bring up the correct screen, let me bring up.
If you recall, in the far-off year of 2022, I created a Heroes and Villains mega, which I think we all had a good amount of fun with. It's always nice to have a strong thematic tie throughout megas. So I cooked up another one. I think we're only going to have enough time to do sort of the first week of the mega. So, Idle, if you wouldn't mind reading out the very, very official, totally legitimate, not at all fake announcement that I have put to you in our chat.
Yeah. Do you want me to go from the top? Okay, from the top.
If you wouldn't mind reading it from the top.
Shall I do it as Phil? I'll do it as Phil. Greetings, Captains.
Yeah.
Our next mega event is just around the corner, and it will be focused on risk-taking, breaking the rules, and refusing to be bound by convention. The Mavericks of the Star Trek universe. Lieutenant Commander Dax and Colonel Kira of Deep Space Nine have come to Starfleet Command with a proposal for a competition designed to push people out of their comfort zone, using unorthodox tactics to deal with the realities of the temporal crisis and grow a little bit in the process. Naturally, you, Captain, will have to pick a side. Will you join Commander Dax in her pursuit of scientific accomplishment, pushing higher, further, faster to widen our understanding of the crisis? Or will you join Colonel Kira and use the ever-changing rules of the various anomalies to right historic wrongs and make the universe a better place? For the duration of this mega event, crew with the Maverick trait will provide an event bonus for all 4 events. The schedule will be as follows.
So you get your Galaxy.
Well.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll take over because you. I can't make you do the announcer voice the entire thing. You'll blow your back out, man. So you get your Galaxy event. Rules are made to be broken. Skirmish event. Higher, further, faster. Faction event. Broadening horizons. And then Galaxy faction disruption. And of course, you've got to have your skirmish and Galaxy at the beginning to get everyone equipped, and then you get your factions at the end so that you can get the full impact of your fully made crew. And for the first time, you will have a choice of your recurrent Mega Arc
Ooh.
crew. Each event, you will be given a behold that will allow you to choose between Acting Captain Jadzia and Dominion Resistance Kira. Participate in all 4 events to obtain a copy from Threshold rewards, and to encounter other new characters such as Landing Port Burnham, Shore Leave Ortegas, Gorn Survivor Lan, Medical Shotgun Tendi, Existential Dread Lieutenant Mariner, Farpoint Yar, Backhand Uhura, Applied Psychology Chapel, Stockade Row, EV Suit Torres, Donut Maneuver Tilly, and Sravani Experiment Janeway. We hope you'll enjoy this new original story arc. Thank you for playing. Live long and prosper, the Trek Time team.
That's us.
That's us.
All right.
So, I don't have flavor text, so we have to skip that part, unfortunately. Idle, do you know what episode this is from?
I do know this is season 6, or is this season 7? No, this is. I do recognize it.
Well, it can't be season 7.
Sorry.
It can't
no,
be season 7.
Be season 7, can it? Of course not. No,
Should be a skeleton.
Yeah, so it's a flashback, honestly. No, definitely season 6. I have watched this before. I know the scene. It's they're doing their ritual. We've basically blown up enough Jem'Hadar to spend this phaser casing, and now we're doing a ritual to replace them, which I always thought was really weird that they did this all of a sudden.
It's a bit more military than you're kind of used to for Starfleet to do. Yeah. So this is when she had to take over as captain of the Defiant from Cisco, who's been bumped upstairs by Ross, and the entire episode is kind of about him suffering because he's like, I want to be out there being
that's
hero.
Right, yeah. He sends her on a mission. He's not sure she'll survive, and then she just comes back in. Fine, I'm Dax, bitch. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was a ship full of main characters. Why were you fucking worried, dude? They don't die unless it's Rick Berman involved.
Yeah.
Sorry about it. I can't think of many people who kind of like qualify as a maverick more than Jadzia. Jadzia just had so much fun, and I was like, what was the last Jadzia we got, and what was the last good one before that?
God knows, a long time ago.
Yeah, no, you literally cannot
Alternate
remember.
Future, Jadzia.
Stellar ice somewhere is twitching.
My DAC sensors are tingling.
Damn right. So I figured it's about time to put a bit more shine on her name. This is a really cool moment for her where she gets to like be in command, and it's not something you get to see Terry Farrell do it very often. So Trill, Starfleet, Federation, Aspiring, Maverick, Gambler, Hero. I always go in all in the traits because it's important. It's important to have good traits. Hero, Astrophysicist, Pilot, Resourceful, Survivalist, and Command Sec Eng. I don't now. I'm going to be curious to see which one of these two you guys would pick throughout the Mega Arc, because if you wouldn't mind bringing up Kira.
Dominion Resistance Kira. So
do you remember where this Kira is from?
Is this the gift that Golda Cut gives her?
Yes, it's the dress that he wants her to wear for the dinner with Zial, because I believe she's just come back from university.
And he nearly convinces her, doesn't he? She gets really close.
Yeah, and it's all a part of this collaborator arc where she's like, am I, like starting to fall for it? And then it takes am I actually the baddie? Because it takes her like threatening to throw Jake into a jail cell for reporting on Cardassian like activities, and a Bajoran Vedic hanging themselves on the promenade for her to kind of snap back to it and realize, oh yeah, these guys are fucking evil. So you don't get a good, you don't get any edge. It's dip set command, which I feel like kind of suits the situation.
Do you remember that award we had at the award show? Like, how many megas are you going to release with Dip Command Set Crew?
Sometimes it is unavoidable. But tell me if you like the sound of these traits, Idol. Bajoran, Caregiver, Maverick, Saboteur, Communicator, Resourceful, Spiritual, Tactician, Veteran, Diplomat, and Undercover Operative.
You put her in like 5 collections. That'll never fly.
Yeah, but tell me which one of them, if any, is wrong.
Diplomat? In this context?
Because she has to act as the diplomatic envoy between the Cardassian and Bajoran government in these episodes.
Don't think she's a caregiver. I generally think she gives no fucks after this.
For ZL, she does.
But she's not caring for her.
She totally is. She's the only reason that woman's alive.
Frank, help me out here.
Not alive for long. I this is where I want to insert the meme of Kirk Van Houten. I don't think that she should have 19 traits, but
That's a very good Kirk Van Houten.
I mean, you're not. So I'm going to say this is like pretty damn spot on. But
it would never make it in game.
no, you got to cut those
Yeah.
traits in half. And
Yeah.
but
You're right.
I think it's a really good representation, and I would argue to keep caregiver in game just to make it that much more wonky.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, if you had to pick between Kira and Jadzia, who'd you pick?
Frank.
So I feel on behalf of Stellar Ice, who I watched her win an event on No Sleep in Las Vegas, and she is Jadzia's #1 fan, and Jadzia is probably, arguably, the #1 underrepresented main cast person of all the main treks
Maybe
in this game.
Yeah.
It's been, and I don't know, somebody fact check me, it's been like legit 3 years since there's been a Jadzia in this game, which is kind of crazy.
Especially since she had like a year where it was nothing but Jadzia, right?
Yes,
It was like 2017.
We had an all Jadzia year and an all Janeway year, and then they kind of cut it out because the jokes were on the forums. Oh, well, you're going to get Discovery Janeway, and you're going to get COP Founder
Remember that,
Janeway.
yeah.
Well, we got that. So, I would go Kira.
He's chasing the collections and he's chasing that gold roll. What about you, Idol?
I'm gonna for all the points that Frank made but didn't back up. No, I'll go with Dax because it's a Dax. We do need more Dax. Can I tell you how many Kiras I have that are top voyages? We've got Breen Disguise. I've literally just got Surrogate. Lumeral's fairly decent as well. We've got loads of Kiras. I want more Dax. I know tons more collections with the Kira, but I probably would fight my base instinct to go, oh, look, I can fill many slots with like 1 4-star crew and probably go for Dax because we need more Dax. Definitely.
We really do. So those are your 2 mega recurring crew for this mega arc. Now, we only have enough time for week 1, which is rules are made to be broken. And here's your flavor text. Now, I can't possibly put a patch on our timelines writer who has done some excellent work. If you recall all the event text for this previous event with all the various different lyrics to Faith of the Heart and the little heart, all perfectly pitched. But I'll do my best attempt. So, as you come into dock at Deep Space Nine for a long overdue refit, worn down by the drudgery of putting out one more temporal brush fire, a conversation floats down from Ops. Commander Dax and Colonel Kira are arguing about how best to use the unique circumstances of the crisis to work outside the box, often in ways that don't quite jive with established protocol. But Starfleet Command, desperate for a solution to the anomalies, is willing to try anything, even more unorthodox solutions. Dax has chosen to work with Commander Burnham and Ensign Tendi on a revolutionary way to use energy siphoned from the anomalies to advance medical science, while Kira, Lieutenant Noonien Singh, and Ensign Rowe believe rules are getting in the way of righting some historical wrongs, starting with the Bajoran occupation. Choose your side and push it to the limit.
Push it to the limit. Getting James Brown vibes there.
Push it to the limit.
Lieutenant
Right to the razor's
Lan
edge.
and Ensign Rowe in the same room together is an energy I would absolutely adore. I would love to see.
Oh yeah,
that.
it's too much boss bitch energy, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I'd argue they're the same character in some ways.
Yeah, it's the same archetype
That's
at the
a
very
good
least.
point,
Yeah.
actually. They're not far
Yeah.
off of there. Well, we'll come to the next slot of crew soon, but shall we talk about some real crew for a moment? The crew that are in
They're
the game.
all real,
Tho-
damn it. They're real
Those
to
aren't
me.
real crew I can win because I'm excited. I'm all in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I can say I'm excited.
Do you want some ones that are worse?
How about the let's why does this keep breaking today? Nothing ever works as planned. Federation President Archer, who you could have won a couple of weeks ago, who was the opening part of the Mega, another originals crew. So we've had 2 original crews in one meal. Thanks, Kirk. Command Eng, sing it with me. You've heard it before. Like, we're back there again. It's another one in that king. And like you say, they gave us Janeway for free. Why do you need an archer? Do you? Anyone need an archer? No.
It's a
I
King
sleep
Ridley
in
and
a
his
race
daughter.
car bed. Do you? No, I sleep in a big bed with COP Janeway.
But there must be a reason. There must be a reason why he is tier 1, according to the name. I believe there's going to be a bit of a shift happening. He might go down soon. But
Archer's inclusion in tier 1 means that a radical reshifting of like priorities has to occur.
Oh, hang on! I've got the perfect thing for this. Hang on, where is it? Here it is. Here it is. It's definitely.
There's nothing wrong with me. But maybe there's something wrong with the universe.
You just insert big book instead of universe at the end there. Yeah, no, it says tier 2 in a second. Give me a minute.
Yeah, no, he has to write this wrong.
Sometimes they do appear, and we look at the tier and we kind of go like, no, that can't be right. Something's wrong.
Look,
Yeah,
you
I feel
expect a tier
wrong.
1.
Absolutely.
Anytime there's a dip command something in tier 1, I'm always a bit
What are you doing? Yeah, we can't have a tier 1 archer. Not again.
not allowed.
Absolutely not. Sorry, racing.
That being said, this is a nice archer. Like, not only is it like an archer we never really got to see, like I feel a lot of people have pitched an idea of a West Wing style continuation of Enterprise where he's the Federation president and you get to see more about the founding of the Federation. And this is kind of an idea of what he would have looked like in that thing. I'm fairly certain that what they might have used, like some artwork from NCIS as a reference here, because he looks a little bit older. Scott
Kinda
Bakula is
squinting.
alien quite well. Yeah.
Like the
yeah, that's
lights
probably
in his
about right.
face. He's like, what the fuck are you taking my headshot for?
They're gonna put me on so many like DVD covers or so much NCIS.
Fun Scott Bakula fact. Oh,
Red alarm!
thank
Red
you, Agent
alarm!
Graham
Red
today.
alarm!
Thank you for following. Fun Scott Bakula related fact. When I was going down my rabbit hole of trying to find other series that Star Trek actors have been, did you know he was in a 90s remake of Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Who was he?
Mr. Smith.
Oh God, no!
He was the lead.
You saw how he rocked dresses in Quantum Leap. Of course it misses.
Yeah, that was. I think it ran for.
I've seen how he dressed up as Rocky Horror. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
This is a nice representation. I love that they brought back the Federation President shirt that you see Rigatoni wearing in Undiscovered Country and Voyage Home, because it feels. I'm guessing that's just the ceremonial dress of the Federation President's office. I wonder, did we see? We did see the Federation President in DS9, didn't we? In Homefront. I can't remember if they were wearing the same outfit.
It was not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was not the same
I
one,
look-
yeah.
no.
This is the human only outfit. The other ones get to wear something a little bit more fashionable.
He was a grazer, right?
This is a really nice look.
I thought the
Yes,
same
it was
thing.
right.
I went down the Google rabbit hole because I kept thinking, well,
Yeah.
you know, they had this costume in storage at Paramount from Star Trek 4 for a throwaway
Oh, yeah.
role of somebody. They're like, here, you're the president. Just stand up here and admonish Kirk. And then Red Foreman 2 movies later, they're like, oh, here, we've got this in storage. Put this on. Don't worry. We'll keep you behind a desk. If it doesn't fit, don't worry. And then 30 years later, they're like, Scott Bakula, we need to see you in wardrobe.
Actually, Walt raises a good point. It was a different president in Star Trek: The Voyage
Yes,
Home. There
it
somebody
was.
else. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Which
they,
one
they
was
were
it, actually?
both like. No, we don't. Because I don't think he even has a name.
He died on his way back to his home planet.
He died on his home planet.
Wasn't he human?
It was a bad day, man. That was a hell of a storm. It was like a probe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bad time. Yeah, no, this is a pretty good archer, all things considered. It is a case of if you got a copy of him from the event, then you're kind of doubling up your double mint gum with Janeway, because it's literally the exact same kind of offering. The traits are different, so that he's got that going for him. Diplomat, cultural figure, those can sometimes be harder to fill with good crew, although less so nowadays. But I don't know. If you really, really love Archer, Enterprise, NCIS, Quantum Leap, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, yeah, there are worse representations out there.
Okay, last crew for today. Let's talk about the crew you could have just one, or grab in packs should you be so dilithium conscious. The Wonder in the Red Dress, Devious Duet Gerati from Picard Season 2. Everyone's crazy for a sharp dress gal. Voyager rank 25, Dip Med Psi. This is a beast of a card with traits that literally go off the page. Very excited for this
trait
card.
this crew?
I think a lot of people went nuts for this for some more obvious reasons than others. But guys, tell me about this card whilst I visit the little boy's room.
Well, I will. In a covert mission to restore the timeline, Girardi takes center stage during a gala. But in her performance, it becomes apparent that the Borg Queen has taken over.
Dun, dun, dun. So I've not seen Picard season 2. This is gonna be awkward.
Well, I will fill you. It's so without throwing any aspersions aside for Picard season 1. Picard season 2, I argue, is better. It's kind of like Discovery. It gets its footing and it gets better. It's a great scene. Alison Pill is a good actress. She didn't have a lot to do in season 1. The least favorite thing of Picard season 1 for me is like her discussion with Picard in the lab, and she's like, I am Dr. Alison Girardi, and I am the leading expert on android artificial life art forms, and I'm coming with you. It's like, who wrote this shit? This is horrible. But, you know, she becomes spoilers. She becomes the Borg Queen. And it is just a phenomenal plot device, and it's really good acting from her. And it's a good scene. It's kind of a cool scene that I'm sure we'll get more variants of because they all get dressed up and go to a gala where she's singing. But just phenomenal thing. You know, I'm not saying the one-armed artist, thank God he didn't strike again, but this is good art. This is gorgeous art, great detail. They've really been hitting home runs lately with great art. But this one, right up there.
And I was going to say, I'm not usually a massive fan of the artwork staring you directly in the face, but the uncanny valley effect of the blacked out eyes, the fact that it is during a performance means they absolutely get a pass from me because it's way more representative of what that seems actually like, as opposed to I'm standing here for a publicity headshot that's going to be used in magazines, and we've just taken that and traced over it, like with say Confidant Culber or Inspiring Captain Berman, where it's like I can tell that's from a promo shoot, whereas this is from an episode. This isn't actually a moment, so it gets past from me on that respect.
Definitely. I don't know if you spoke about it, but I do love this scene. Like, it was so unexpected. Like, from season 2 of Picard, as many flaws as it has, this is one of the high points of her just coming out and just singing. Was it a Bonnie Tyler song? I forget now. Whoever it was. So unexpected. It's like, oh, confident Girardi is really nice, and the whole sort of interplay with her and the Borg Queen was really, really good. Have you watched Picard season 2 yet, Stars?
I have not, because Brody will not let me until we've seen Voyager. We're still working on it. We'll get there. One day. It'll be fine. I feel like I've watched it anyway, given like I've heard all the spoilers. You cannot go unspoiled about anything in this day and age, as long as you exist in the social media sphere. Now everyone's gone gaga over her. I'm a little bit cooler on her than most. I feel mostly because of that dip primary. I'm always a bit more.
Let's have a look. Where does she sit with the bases? Oh, I should know. It's right in front of me. Yeah.
Well, it's a dip base because it's. Yeah. Guess what? That's like 10 points off of dip base 1. Yeah. That's how this works. That's how the dip base game works. There's no point in trying to differentiate between them, and that's part of the reason why I'm a little bit cooler on her than most. I saw some people saying, "Oh, this is going to really put the nail in the coffin for people like King Rodney." So out the gate,
no,
not really. You still need med primaries more than you'll need dip primaries every day of the week. She's got some fucking amazing antimatter traits, like undercover operative,
Red alarm,
position.
Red alarm,
Thank you,
red alarm.
Thank you.
These are all ones that are hard to fill with, especially with good power or good skill set. They're always like command dip sec, or they're shitty ones that have like aged out of like do you want to use the one law on Voyages? Do you? Is that going to fill your life with joy?
Maybe.
You could. Oh, hang on. How about a new idea? You could play reverse Voyages. You have to use the opposite end of the spectrum of your Voyages. So you have to use crew like the One Law and Lieutenant Commander.
I did that once. I took the worst Voyagers on the Big Book, bigbook.app. Check it out today. Unfroze them all. and sent a Voyage out, and holy God, it crashed so fast. So many people died. It was glorious.
Just crashed
Can of
into a
flames.
nearby moon.
Oh,
Perfect.
sadly, they all survived.
Yeah, I think
That
I
is
think the
awful.
combination here is like it reminds me of, I think people that she's gonna, I can't talk at the moment, but she's gonna replace people like Q as God. I think the
Yeah,
Asian
it's
Dip
true.
Med crew is more the pair that you're going to be looking at of what she's going to replace, mostly with the large amount of traits she has, including the large amount of collections, the great art, the great scene. It just evokes a lot more, okay, gameplay utility. She
Evokes
might get
feelings
aged
and
out fairly
affection.
soon, but it's a cool card, and if we can't go for cool cards with good utility, what can you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I'm absolutely a proponent of who fucking cares what the stats are at the end of the day. Pick the cards that you like.
Yeah.
It's actually that bell curve of like start of the game. Pick the cards you like in the middle. Pick the cards with the best stats at the end of the game. Pick the cards you like.
Yeah.
It actually is what will get you through playing this game.
Exactly. Yes.
And unless you think Star Trek died in 2005, in which case you have a very limited roster right now, because you're missing.
You don't
out on
even have
half
access to the
megas.
#1 Voyager in the game. That must suck.
Riffwood
No.
dropped in, dropping in a bit from the Strange New Pod Collective to see what your show is all about.
Oh,
This show is Timelines Talks. This is one of our things we do for talking about Star Trek timelines. We do lots of other things as well, but this is the one we do once a month for timelines. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for inviting us to
It's for the
Picard
children.
Week. It is. Come on, you have the triggers. You have the triggers right in front of you.
No, but I like doing it more because I do it badly, and that makes me
dear.
It
happy.
appears we have lost our sex appeal, Captain.
Not me.
I'll drop that one.
No me.
Right, yeah. So yeah, Jurati, great card. I love the art. Thank you, Janos.
Yes, it's for the children. I'm I'm a role model.
I'm sure you are.
All right, okay.
Oh dear.
Okay, so
Now, I believe there's one more woman in red that you need to show off, right?
we're gonna do. Okay,
haven't talked
let's
about,
do it.
yeah.
I was gonna say we are gonna skip her, but okay, let's not. This is another
Come on, man. She's
Well,
cool.
She is very cool. She is very cool. Let me find her wherever she is on my buttons. Not that one. Not her. Not her. No, not him. There it is. Surrogate Kira, who I think it was like 3 events ago now. Pregnant Kira from
Ancient.
season 4 of DS9.
Airlocker. No good.
that's
Voyage crept already.
Never mind.
Frank,
Not
if you
as-
wouldn't mind.
Oh yes.
I actually have to pull her up. Hold on. I have to find her. There's too many crew.
There's too many
God.
Kiras.
Oh no.
There's a lot of crew.
Oh God. Okay. Life aboard Deep Space Nine can be hectic, but nothing can stop Kira, even when she's carrying a baby for the O'Briens.
Carrying another
You know
man's
what?
baby.
That's good flavor text and that explains what's going on. It doesn't mention that this is the Kira from the episode where she's being chased by a psychopathic serial killer. Life on DS9
Yeah.
can be hectic.
People would be quite happy of that if she wasn't holding the gun. That kind of adds a
Oh, the
weird
gun's
twist
what
to the
makes
whole
it.
thing.
Oh, I love it. No, guess what? Pregnant women with guns is kind of amazing. Every time it happens in media, I'm like, I'm in for a good time.
How often does that happen?
Fairly often actually. I play a lot of video games and
Okay.
zombie fiction.
Okay, I just imagine there's some crossover there.
Yeah,
This was a
absolutely.
very good card. Like I got her and immortalized her straight away because Sekhmed's eye is just dire and all. It's the end med of the time as well. Not too many traits, but if you got this card in the event, well, kudos to you. You've got a great card. Like she's gonna go on forever.
Finish her now. She will voyage forever. Forever.
Literally, Kira's are just bangers
I'm-
in this game.
I can actually reference my Captain Idol Voyage spreadsheet that you too can get over at the Trek Time Discord. Join today, where we have spreadsheets and other things. Maybe I don't know.
He's so much better at this than you, Idol.
Hey,
And
That's welcome to
I
host.
reset my tracking. So in January, I started over to see who's voyaging. She's already one of my top voyagers.
yeah.
There you go.
She's good. And she has a gun.
She has a gun and she's pregnant. What more could you want? Like that's an actual. And it's a great episode as well. It's a bit creepier than you're kind of used to from your standard Star Trek fare. DS9 always kind of trended a bit darker anyway. And any episode where you're like, are they actually gonna like remove the baby before? And you're like, okay, so let's do it. And then they take a hard left turn. Don't worry, it's fine. She kills that guy and it's fine. But man, Star Trek is such a weird show that has some weird peaks and valleys and weird left turns. Like, hey, Kira is pregnant for a season because of Siddig Al-Fadil and Alexander Siddig, I should say. That's his preferred state name.
And they do it again with Taurus. Taurus gets hunted down by the Klingon. Like, it's another repeated episode, like those Klingon refugees worship. I was like, well, let's persecute her for that. And yeah,
we have to come up with a reason for why they're pregnant. They can't all hide it in coats like Crusher did. They can't all hide it like that.
Or Bill Shatner in Star Trek 5 and 6. Oh.
Yes. He's giving birth to his
if you have this Kira finisher, the instant she joins the portal, retrieve. Just get as many stars as you can instantly.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you missed her in the packs or the event, you're not going to get her for a year unless she hits a 490 somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
don't worry, she'll be in a campaign in 3 months.
That's very true. And then again in 4 years' time. Not bitter. All right, let's skip those. Oh, stars. Do you want to talk about the next batch of
Timeline Talks Originals? Timeline Talks, not fake crew. Stars tell us who's first.
I never thought I'd get to play that 3 times in one episode, yet here we are.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of happy about it though. We're doing it.
I'm going to go to the forums and complain about fake crew. Hold on.
I spent all 20 minutes making that intro, so it needs to get used
real
as
to
often
me,
as
damn
possible.
it. Real to me. Yeah, so you get your pick of Kira and Jadzia. So let's have a look at the other crew that are up for grabs in this first week of the Mega. Idly, if you wouldn't mind mousing us over.
Pod Burnham from, I believe, Season 2, Episode 1?
Yes, it's called Brother. It's the episode where they have to retrieve Jet Reno from the Hiawatha that's crashed on the dark matter asteroid. So I know that there are some people who have feelings about the we need to kill a guy because he's being an annoying asshole trope. Yeah, and he's not listening to Burnham. That's a bit of a trope in Discovery. Is XYZ does this thing that Burnham thinks is a stupid idea and dies as a result to show that you should always listen to Burnham. And it's like, have you considered that Burnham is always right? Have you considered this fact? 98% of the time.
That character actually reminds me of the guy from the Kelvin verse as well. The guy that goes down on the parachute sort of ride, and he's like, "Yeah."
The one who gets killed in the turbine. Yeah,
he does exactly the same thing. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
if I wasn't paying attention, I'd be sure that's the same actor, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not quite. I don't know. I really enjoyed this season opener. It's got a bit of action. It's got a nice way of setting the tone for the rest of the season. I also really enjoyed this scene, even though it's basically just an excuse to have a really cool CGI piloting scene. Guess what? That's cool. We have the whole Top Gun series for that. People play Edge Combat to replicate this thing. Flight is cool, and that's one of my favorite Burnham character moments as well, which is when they're launching these specialized landing pods. And they're just getting launched out with the basically like a magnetized rail cannon out of the back of the Discovery, and there's this ridiculous G-force going on. And Burnham has this thing where Burnham is a little bit reckless, but ultimately a woman of science, right? She believes in the wider fabric of the universe is boilable down to numbers and facts and cold hard truths. But she fucking loves it when things go fast. The season opener for season 1 where she's in the AV suit and she gets launched into the radiation field. Here again, every time she gets a chance to go fast, she's having the time of her life.
Are you saying she's the song of Star Trek?
Yeah, she's got to go fast. She actually does. And I don't know, I just wanted to kind of immortalize that moment. I also love the shiny Power Rangers style suits that they wear in the scene. They're so out of nowhere, but I also just man, those suits are really flattering on some people. Like Pike and Nan wear it very well.
All right.
Just take the stick manually, Idle.
I always do. Okay, next one. Tell us about Medical Shotgun Tendi. Is this the one where she's chasing Rutherford around trying to...
Yeah, because she's got synthetic memory degradation.
That's right.
I saw this scene and I was like, I instantly have to make this into a card because... oh god, I fucking love Tendi. Tendi's so good.
That's like half of Lower Decks. You just watch
Yeah.
Lower Decks and you go, "Oh God, it's
Yeah.
brilliant." Anyway,
It's perfect. Yeah, no, it's like the fact that she just opens up the medical case and it's like the assemblable like medical shotgun. And it's like all the various like bandoliers of like anti venoms and hypo sprays. It's like I couldn't not. And guess what? Hunter, we need good hunters in
That's
the game.
true.
Please
Yeah.
give us a viable hunter on Voyager seats. She doesn't. They don't even have to be as good as she is because I made her intentionally incredible because I want to be able to use a Tendi every day. Tendi and the dog is usable, but medical shotgun Tendi is where it's at.
Okay.
How
How about Alarm for your troubles? Gorn survive Alarm from the Valio Beta 4 episode.
Yeah,
That episode.
I'm
And I
actually
just
kind of curious
remembered what happened, and now I'm sad again.
Apologies. I was kind of like going back and forth on this one, whether or not to make her a super rare or not. Because I was like, this is a pretty big moment for Lan, facing the actual in-person representation of her fears. Like we're doing something really quite courageous. Coming to a big moment in her character growth because she leaves the Enterprise after this episode. Spoilers. To look after the kids, and when she's coming back in season 2, don't worry, it's
This is
fine.
her alien episode. She is Ripley, literally Ripley
Yeah,
at this moment.
she is actually being the Ripley. Yeah, we take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And I was like, should I make her a legendary? And I was like, nah. She's already got Princess Talia and Runa, which I think is my preferred version of Lan anyway, because I think it's absolutely hilarious moment for her. But this is worthy of immortalization. I think this was a really cool moment for her, and it was cool to see her do the aliens moment. Like, I love aliens. I'm always a sucker for every time they do an alien pastiche. It's just my thing.
And they say, if you're going to do it well. And it did do it well. It was very good.
It's true. It's true.
And
yeah, I'm curious.
Like, I was half expecting to see an egg and a small Gorn head pop out of it.
Like puts on a little top hat. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
full of space balls.
yeah, exactly. Now, can either of you tell me what crew this is based on? I'm curious.
Oh gosh, have you done a copy and paste, have you?
What? Yeah. So can you tell me?
Second
There's a really big
command.
hint.
My knowledge of every single super rare is very lacking, I'm afraid.
Hold on. I actually have to pull up. I don't actually watch the show, so I actually have to pull it up here. Okay, so we got the gun. Okay, that is crap.
That's not a very nice thing to say. Spent hours working on that.
I mean,
what are we looking at this?
Frank, if you get this right, you're allowed to wear pants again.
oh, now that would be glorious. Hold on, I have to search my vault. Please afford me one moment.
No worries, go for it.
Is it KDF Alexander?
I know it.
Yeah.
You copied the pose and the skill set of one time loop mud.
Wrong, actually. If you look at those gauntlet rolls, that is Marshal of France Q.
Oh, okay.
You can tell because of the tiny little tertiary. But you know what?
Is this the Matrix
Frank,
view? Is like I don't even.
You're
see
allowed
bullet
to wear
rolls.
pants. You're allowed to. You're allowed to wear pants because that was a really good guess, and I appreciate you put more thought into it and actually thought about it.
Oh, see, now
yeah.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. In magnify, enhance, magnify, enhance,
Wow.
magnification.
I need new glasses.
But your ones are they're so stylish.
They do. Well, actually, they're fake. They're not real.
Oh. I forgot you took that treatment of Retin X5.
Yes. But you know, Retin X5, I'm allergic.
Hence the spectacles.
Moving on.
Happy birthday.
Last fake crew for this week being
They're not
Stockade
fake.
Row.
God damn it. Stop saying they're fake. They're real to me,
It's
damn.
original, sorry. Stockade Row.
Guess what? We don't have enough Rolaren in the game. We really don't. We have, exactly 2. We have Marquis and then we have the 2-star. And she's only in like, 6, 7, maybe 8 episodes. But I feel like she had an actual pretty big impact on Star Trek in terms of like...
She had a story.
Well, yeah, and it's like, she kind of influenced, Torres, Kira, Jadzia to a degree. Like, all these characters kind of wouldn't have had the same spark to them if not for Ro. Because if you think of the female characters prior to her, it was Crusher, Pulaski, and Troy and Yar to agree, yeah. And it's like in the TNG mold, obviously, the TOS is a whole different kettle of fish. But in terms of like TNG, like female writing was not always the best. But Ro was just she needs to do justice because she's such an influential character in Star Trek history. And it's
she
like
was
I felt a little
refreshing.
bit bad. Yeah,
In the late seasons, she was a good addition.
Yeah, because everyone had kind of settled into their roles and was like, friendly, if not, like a downright family with each other. It was nice to see everyone shake the cage a little bit. So that's why I feel she was a good fit for a Maverick Mega. I felt a little bit bad making her super rare again. I feel like I should just like come up with like 4 or 5 originals Ro variants and then make a Ro Mega.
A sec dip command for a super rare is fine. Because it doesn't matter. So I'll
It's true. It's true. You'll let it pass. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You allow it. You allow it.
Oh, yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's nice, isn't it?
Anyway.
But there you go.
Awesome.
That's the first week. Tune in next show. I almost said next week.
Next month?
Next show
next month.
for the continuation of the Mega.
I need to schedule the next month's worth of content. So so thank you everyone for joining us this week. Coming soon, shall I do the spiel of what's coming up next? This Saturday we are going back to our Klingon Star Trek Adventure series, Death Before Dishonor. We're going to be reprising the roles. Well, I'll be GMing. Stars will be reprising his role as Machiavel. We'll be having Spocky as Chukumba, son of Wa'umba. Shireporn as
still the best
Barakus from the House of A, and Sky will be joining us again as Ba'ala, daughter of the dead, as they take the IKS Death Before Dishonor on another mission, which I'm very looking forward to GMing, and I'm glad we're bringing this back. So it's going to be very fun. Join us Saturday for that one. It's normal time. We will have another Star Trek Trek on the YouTube. I believe the next one we're doing is Code of Honor. So enjoy that one. Our review of Code of Honor is a fun one. We had a lot of things to say about that episode, didn't we?
Is it fun? Warp 3. That's all I'm gonna say. Warp 3.
Warp 3. And then, excuse me. Wednesday 25th, we will have Insurrection 2, Baku Boogaloo, as we go through the game Star Trek Hidden Evil, the sequel to Star Trek Insurrection. You didn't believe there was a sequel, yet there is, and it is in PC game form. So I'm kind of intrigued to see, because I played it when I was younger, but I cannot remember anything about it. So I'm intrigued to see where the story goes. But
Look, so long as Data turns into a flotation device, it'll be a perfect representation.
Absolutely.
That was for you, Frank.
On the 28th, we've got our new show, Pros and Cons, where myself will be dressing up as Q and inviting Genos and Sky to join me to debate how should Janeway have dealt with Tuvix? Should she have let him live, or should she have continued to separate him into the forms of Tuvok and Neelix? So they will be debating, and it's going to be a bit of a fun game show kind of feel. There will be points, there will be a winner, there will be a loser, and the winner of the argument will define it for the rest of Trek history. And then coming up on February 1st, we have our Star Trek the Trek Time Trek show, where we talk about all the latest news and reviews of Star Trek. So join us for all this wonderful upcoming content that we're doing. We're really ploughing in the theme of, we're not just timelines anymore, we're going to be Trek channel, and it's going to be fun. We're having a lot of fun with the Star Trek Trek watch throughs. They're kind of like my favorite moment. I'm bugging these guys all the time. It's like trying to schedule them. It's like, can we do another one? Can we do another one? Let's do more. And every time I was like, yeah, all right.
We do enjoy getting together and plowing.
It was very snowy outside.
Look, man, the fields, they need to be plowed, okay?
I like we had different ideas there. But yes, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Frank, for joining us this week. We will have you on again for sure.
You've been an absolute pleasure.
You have been
the pleasure is mine.
I think we definitely need your flavor text renditions coming back. Hey! You want a drunk Mr. and Mrs. Idol show? Yeah, that. I have been trying to talk my wife into coming back on the show at some point. She's just like, no, not after last time. I think she's somewhat embarrassed about it.
But she's immortalized on the internet forever.
Absolutely is. But from myself and from Frank and from Stars, we will see you next time. Enjoy this piece of Kate Mulgrew.
Where did we hear as kids?
I think I'm a detective.